Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1203. Nie Yunchang stared at her senior apprentice sister, and her heart turned cold. She then started laughing uproariously, as though she had gone insane. Once they entered Ji Gate, they would become sisters, accompanying each other on the path to immortality. This was the admonition given to GD's followers when they first joined the sect. GD nurtured her disciples, and she didn't wish for the day to come when her disciples would point their weapons at each other. That would be a failure of hers as a master. Every supreme existence had their own way of teaching their disciples. Some preferred to let their disciples fight against each other, while others preferred to let their disciples support each other. GD belonged to the latter group. There were very few people who cultivated spatial energy, and those who had powerful spatial affinity were even rarer. It was harder for a woman to cultivate compared to a man. The world of mortals was lonely, and the path to immortality was lonely. GD hoped that her disciples would be able to support each other. But today, within the Sacred Academy, Nie Yunchang and Qing'er were facing each other. Senior apprentice sister, you don't know what I've experienced, yet you are criticizing me like this? Nie Yunchang laughed. Just because her background is better and her talent is higher? A demon has already formed in your heart. Although I don't know what you've experienced since Huang Yudi ordered you to sneak attack Qing'er, I can naturally imagine it. My heart aches for you, but this isn't a reason for you to act against Qing'er. This senior apprentice sister's name was Mo Zian. She took good care of all her junior apprentice sisters and was respected by many of them. If senior apprentice sister was in my shoes, what would you do? Nie Yunchang asked. Either I die or I kill them. This isn't a betrayal, Mo Zian replied without any hesitation. Her heart was resolute. This was her choice. Why should I die for her? Nie Yunchang still didn't understand. Everyone has their own ambitions. This is your choice. Nie Yunchang, although I feel pain in my heart, I cannot cover up what you have done. If we can get out of the Sacred Academy alive, I will naturally report the truth to my master and let him decide what to do. Mo Zian spoke. You are unwilling to accept this and you want to vent your anger on Qing'er. Most probably, you feel that you are implicated because of Qing'er, and all our senior apprentice sisters are also injured because of Qing'er. But I can tell you this. If the person the Nine Emperors' immortal empire humiliated back then was you, me, Qing'er, and our senior apprentice sisters would also fight for you. Today, not only are we fighting for Qing'er, we are also fighting for you. We don't mind dying in battle, even if I no longer acknowledge you. If not, how would I have the face to call myself a disciple of Matriarch Ji? There's no such thing as a perfect and flawless thing in this world. Master taught you cultivation, bestowed upon you a position in the clan, and gave you unparalleled glory. Yet when you were asked to fight for your fellow apprentice sisters, you cowered. In that case, why did you still want to join the sect? Hence, some things were already destined the moment we joined the sect. Mo Zian slowly spoke, causing Nie Yunchang's heart to tremble. The crazed smile on her face vanished, replaced by tears. Today they would also fight for her. They wouldn't hesitate to die in battle. Was she wrong? Mo Zian no longer looked at Nie Yunchang. Instead, she stared at Huang Wudi and the others. Boundless rage could be seen burning in her eyes. Her ice-cold eyes were filled with boundless killing intent. Marvelous. Huang Yudi laughed. Very touching, but so what of it? Just like what you have said, from the moment you all joined the battle, everything was already destined. What sort of character is my royal brother? His magnificence is unparalleled throughout the generations, and he is unrivaled in the Sacred Academy. Him taking a liking to your junior apprentice sister is an honor for her. However, all of you feel that this is a humiliation to her. Since this is the case, I can only let all of you, GD's followers, understand what true humiliation is. As the sound of his voice faded, the experts beside him moved towards Mo Zian and the others, releasing their immortal foundations as a fearsome might gushed forth. Mo Zian and the others similarly released their auras. The expert from the Battle Saint tribe had a terrifying cultivation base. With a loud roar, he transformed into a giant as a divine ape appeared behind him, radiating boundless battle might. Qing'er slowly turned her gaze over, staring at Huang Shatian. Her eyes flickered with a terrifying coldness. She didn't blame Nie Yunchang. Even though she was betrayed by her, she didn't feel any resentment in her heart. However, she hated Huang Yudi. All of these people deserved to die. A terrifying spatial storm bloomed from her body. Her body was wrapped in the terrifying power of laws. In an instant, it was as if she had been possessed by laws. Her body seemed to have become a body of laws, flowing with incomparably intense power of spatial laws, shrouding the void around her. Huang Wudi frowned. Before this, he had already noticed some changes in Qing'er. Now that Qing'er was releasing her aura, it was even more obvious. This sort of energy felt somewhat similar to the energy circulating in Huang Shaishan's body. But how could this be possible? What was a body of laws? Transforming one's body into laws? This was an ability only immortal kings had. Being able to reach this step meant that one had already come into contact with the gate of the immortal king realm. Qing'er was still so weak. She was only at the 5th level of immortal foundation. How could she have come into contact with the gate of the immortal king realm? Mo Xian could sense the changes in Qing'er as a look of bewilderment flashed in her eyes. Was this the innate immortal king her master had mentioned before? Junior sister Qing'er was destined to become an immortal king character from birth. To her, there was no gate to the immortal king realm. Once her cultivation base reached a certain level, she could directly step into it. Right now, even though her cultivation base hasn't reached that level, she had already come into contact with the gate of the immortal king realm. Royal brother, you deal with that old woman. Leave that Qin Wentian woman to me. Huang Yudi spoke. Mo Xian didn't look old, she only looked to be in her 30s. However, it was clear that he was intentionally insulting her. Be careful, there seems to be some changes happening to her. Huang Wudi reminded. Don't worry. Huang Yudi was defeated by Qin Wentian. He was defeated by Jun Mengchen. How could he still be defeated now? Huang Wudi glanced at the person beside him and transmitted his voice, instructing him to watch over Huang Yudi and be prepared to act as reinforcements at any moment. After that, he himself stepped out, moving towards Mo Xian. Huang Yudi's side had 8 experts. But on his side, other than Mo Xian and Qing'er, there were 2 other experts from the Battle Saint tribe. There was a total of 4 people. Huang Yudi and Huang Yudi each had to fight alone. With one person guarding Huang Yudi, the other 5 experts, including Bai Mao, only needed to deal with the 2 experts from the Battle Saint tribe. The battle instantly erupted. Qing'er walked towards Huang Yudi step by step. The 6 human emperors appeared around Huang Yudi as the human emperor immortal empire radiated a dazzling light, slashing towards Qing'er. However, when these beams of immortal light landed on Qing'er's body, it was as though they had slashed into the void, disappearing completely. Around Qing'er's body, the power of laws flowed like divine splendor, forming a spatial world around her. Die! Huang Yudi coldly roared. The immortal light grew even stronger, transforming into countless sharp swords that slashed down. Qing'er's eyes were as cold as ice. She stepped out, ignoring the attacks that landed on her. Her body seemed to have traversed through space, arriving before Huang Yudi. She blasted out the immortal slaying diagram, instantly causing the space around her to tremble. The terrifying diagram sliced through space, wanting to destroy everything as it shot towards Huang Yudi. Careful! An expert walked over. His attack was like a sword from the heavens, directly piercing towards Qing'er's head. The might behind it was shocking, enveloping the entire space, wanting to destroy everything. Qing'er still didn't retreat. Her countenance was as cold as ever. Her slender hands stretched out, grabbing out in the air. At this instant, Huang Yudi only felt that he couldn't move at all. A terrifying spatial energy slashed into his body. Bang! That violent sword might slash down. Boundless light of spatial laws flowed around Qing'er, enveloping her within. All the sharp swords were subdued, but she still managed to pull Huang Yudi's body back with her. She moved like a bolt of lightning, directly shattering the spatial barrier. But even so, Huang Yudi still coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood. His countenance paled as he stared at the figure in front of him. His heart pounded violently. He was defeated again and was defeated so miserably. He was known as someone who was a match for him under the heavens, yet he was defeated 3 times in a row by people with lower cultivation bases. And now he couldn't even withstand a single strike. Careful, surround her and kill her. She controls a trace of immortal king might. Huang Wudi's conjecture was verified. The daughter of the Evergreen Immortal sect actually controlled a trace of Immortal King, might at the 5th level of Immortal Foundation. This was simply unimaginable. But the immortal realms were simply too vast. The heavens would bestow different talents to everyone. Controlling the might of an Immortal King, even if it was just a trace, was already extremely terrifying. She definitely couldn't be measured by her current cultivation base. Qing'er continued walking towards Huang Yuti, her cold eyes flashing with killing intent. However, at this moment there were 3 experts blocking her path, including Bai Mao. Qing'er acted as though she didn't see them and continued forward. Spatial energy opened up a path as she traversed the distance once again, appearing before Huang Yuti. The terrifying spatial energy caused Huang Yuti's body to freeze. The experts behind Qing'er were all shocked. Wu Xiao, who could control spatial energy, was truly terrifying. All of them prepared a sure kill attack and blasted it towards Qing'er. Even if she controlled a trace of Immortal King might, they still wanted to kill her. Careful! Huang Wuti turned pale. Qing'er was willing to pay any price to kill Huang Yuti. Boom! An incomparably violent killing intent bore down. Mo Xian's attack made it so that Huang Wuti had no way to break free. He could only place his hopes on the 3 experts. Qing'er's finger slashed down towards Huang Yuti's head. If this attack landed, Huang Yuti would die for sure. At this instant, Huang Yuti's body trembled violently. His expression was one of utter defeat, no longer filled with arrogance. His arms and legs gradually froze, sealed by the spatial energy, unable to move. He could only wait for death. He stared at the back of Qing'er. The attacks of the 3 experts would definitely kill Qing'er first. But at this moment, a dazzling spatial light suddenly flashed behind Qing'er. Another silhouette appeared there with her back facing Qing'er, blocking in front of Qing'er. This person was none other than Nie Yunchang. She gathered the boundless energy of her immortal foundation, transforming it into a terrifying spatial diagram before her. When the attacks of the 3 experts landed, the diagram shattered, as well as her immortal foundation. And at the same time, Qing'er's killing intent slammed into the center of Huang Yuti's brows. At this moment, Huang Yuti's eyes were filled with boundless terror and despair. As the finger landed, countless spatial cracks appeared on his head. His eyes could no longer move. Yunchang. Mo Xian's heart pounded violently when she saw the tragic scene unfolding before her. Tears could also be seen in her eyes. The earth was trembling, but their hearts were trembling even more violently. They couldn't even feel the rumbling of the earth. Chapter 1204. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out as Nie Yunchang's body slammed into Qing'er's. The terrifying impact caused the 2 of them to be flung through the air. Huang Yuti's body plummeted downwards. The expressions of the 3 experts changed as they caught hold of Huang Yuti's body. At this moment, their hearts were pounding violently. She actually dared to kill, directly killing Huang Yuti of the 9 Emperors' immortal state. She didn't care about the consequences and didn't hesitate to kill him. At this moment, Huang Yuti, who was said to be a match for everyone under the heavens, had died in the sacred academy. Someone as arrogant as him would never have imagined that he would die in the hands of that woman named Qing'er. How arrogant was he once? He stared at Jun Mengchen with disdain, declaring to Jun Mengchen that since his royal elder brother had spoken, Qing'er was the woman of his royal brother. There was no need for him to interfere, and there was no need for him to know who Qing'er was. But before he died, he learned that the woman named Qing'er was someone who could take his life. At the moment before he died, did he regret his arrogance, regretting that he had died in the sacred academy? The battle between Huang Wuti and Mo Xian stopped. Their bodies flickered, and Huang Wuti appeared in front of Huang Yuti, while Mo Xian appeared in front of Nie Yunchang. Huang Wuti hugged Huang Yuti's corpse, and a trace of sorrow could be seen in his eyes. Although he didn't really like this younger brother of his, who was arrogant and despotic and didn't respect him, and only had Huang Shatian in his eyes, the truth was that Wuti and Yuti were blood brothers. They had the same father and mother, while Huang Shatian was only a half-brother. Therefore, between the 2 of them, one was invincible while the other was invincible. Huang Yuti had always thought highly of himself, and believed that he would surpass his elder brother sooner or later. Hence, he did not have much respect for him. Instead, he admired Huang Shatian, who was more talented. But so what? Huang Shatian was his younger brother, and blood was thicker than water. Now he was dead. The daughter of the Evergreen clan actually dared to kill him. Nie Yunchang wasn't dead yet. She seemed to still have a breath of life left in her body. Her immortal foundation was shattered and her life force was severed. Her aura was flowing rapidly, but there was still a smile in her eyes as she stared at Qing'er and Emozian. In the end, I still made a choice. Nie Yunchang had a bitter smile on her face. After hearing Emozian's words, an intense doubt appeared in her heart. She doubted herself, but she still had hatred in her heart. This lasted until she saw how Qing'er was willing to sacrifice everything to kill Huang Yudi for her sake. Even if there were 3 powerful experts behind her, she wouldn't hesitate. She had to kill him no matter what. At this moment, Nie Yunchang seemed to understand something. Her so-called hypocrisy was nothing more than a figment of her imagination. Even when she stabbed a sharp blade into Qing'er's heart, Qing'er still didn't feel any hatred towards her. In that case, what did everything she did count for? Since you chose the path of life, why do you have to turn back? Emozian spoke with pain in her heart. No matter what, I'm still Master's disciple. If she expelled me from the sect, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to accept it even if I died. Nie Yunchang inclined her head and stared at the sky. It was as though she could see the majestic and benevolent countenance of her master. Her eyes flickered with a smile as she stared at Qing'er, then at the sky. Her smile was extremely radiant, as though she had been freed of all restraints. Her life had been glorious and dazzling before. Although it was short, even if it withered away, it should still be resplendent. Senior sister, why? Qing'er closed her eyes in agony. She felt as though her heart was being sliced apart by blades. Nie Yunchang didn't reply. Her life force was rapidly flowing away, but her beautiful eyes were still as bright as ever. Without the support of her immortal foundation, her internal organs were all shattered, and her immortal energy had lost its source. Her life force naturally wouldn't be able to sustain it any longer. She was already on the verge of death. The earth continued to rumble and rumble. Far away in the horizon, the silhouette of a giant appeared. When Nie Yunchang saw the silhouette of the giant, she mumbled in a low voice, "Your lover is here to look for you." As she spoke, she slowly closed her eyes. Her life force continued to flow away until it completely disappeared. There was not a single trace of it left. Huang Wudi inclined his head and stared at the sky in the distance. He also saw the silhouette of the giant, and his eyes flashed with an intense killing intent. He swept his gaze over to Qing'er and the others as he coldly spoke, "Kill without mercy." Boom! An incomparably terrifying battle palm imprint blasted over, blotting out the sun. That expert from the Battle Saint tribe came to the side of Emozian and spoke, "Go." Emozian caught Nie Yunchang's body. A terrifying spatial energy enveloped her as they sped away together, transforming into a beam of spatial light. Huang Wudi's aura was terrifying to the extreme. He frenziedly chased after them, moving with lightning speed towards Emozian and the others. Evidently, Emozian and the others wanted to join forces with the giant. This was something he couldn't tolerate. Once Qin Wentian joined forces with these people, it would be even more difficult for them to kill them. How fast were those who were proficient in spatial energy? This was especially so for someone as powerful as Emozian. Her spatial energy flashed unceasingly in the air as they fled further and further away. Only Huang Wudi and the other 2 experts were able to catch up to Emozian and the others. The rumbling sounds continued as the tremors of the earth grew more and more intense. Emozian, who was speeding forward, got nearer and nearer to the giant. At the end, the giant also seemed to know of their existence and began to move in a straight line towards them. Qin Wentian indeed knew where Qing'er and Emozian were. This was because he had the 3 esteemed monks of the Wenshin Temple with him. These esteemed monks were proficient in the secret arts of the Buddhist path and possessed boundless might. At the end, Huang Wudi and the others had given up. Finally, Qin Wentian met up with Emozian and the others. When he saw Qing'er, a radiant smile appeared in Qin Wentian's eyes. Although she looked somewhat haggard, he was already very happy that she was fine. However, after that, when he saw Nie Yunchang's corpse in Emozian's arms, his expression changed. After which, he reverted back to his original state and walked to Emozian's side, staring at the corpse of GD's followers. He was speechless. Junior apprentice sister Yunchang died in battle, Mo Zian spoke. She didn't mention Nye Yunchang's betrayal. She only said one sentence. She didn't wish for Nye Yunchang to have any more blemishes on her reputation. She wouldn't mention it, and Qing wouldn't mention it as well, even to Qin Wentian. In fact, the experts of the Battle Saint tribe wouldn't even mention it. They knew the reason behind Nye Yunchang's death, and they would choose to respect her. Qin Wentian stared at Nye Yunchang's corpse. A supreme beauty who exuded magnificence throughout the generations had died because of this war. Who was at fault exactly? We still need to continue moving forward. Qin Wentian spoke after a moment of silence. We can't afford to suffer any more losses. This debt will be settled in the future. Mo Zian naturally understood that the most important thing now was to gather all the people who were fleeing, including her other sisters. Qin Wentian didn't even have time to reminisce about old times with Qing. He directly transformed back into his giant form and continued moving forward. Rumbling sounds echoed out as they continued moving forward. On the way, more and more people gathered here. Only when they reached the deepest part of the sacred mountain did they decide to stop for a short while before leaving. Many days had already passed. From the top of the ancient mountain, one could see a boundless world of glaciers. This sacred academy seemed to have no end. They decided not to continue moving forward. If they had truly fled this far, the Battle Saint tribe wouldn't have chased them so deep. Elder sister Qing seems to be a little strange. At this moment, Mo Qingcheng stood beside Qin Wentian, staring at the beautiful silhouette standing alone on the peak of the mountain. Qin Wentian could also sense it. During these days, Qing had been cold. Because she had always been like this, Qin Wentian didn't feel anything strange at the start. But as time passed, he gradually discovered that something was wrong. Go and take a look. Mo Qingcheng gently smiled as she released Qin Wentian's hand. Okay. Qin Wentian nodded. His silhouette flickered as he arrived at the peak of the ancient mountain. He quietly stood beside Qing silently gazing at the scenery in the distance. He didn't intentionally disturb them. The cold wind gusted by, yet the two of them didn't seem to feel it. Their robes fluttered in the wind, and Qin Wentian's body was pressed against Qing allowing her to feel that she was right beside him. Qing body leaned against Qin Wentian's shoulder, as though she wanted to find a comfortable place to lean on. Qin Wentian hugged her waist, allowing her head to rest on his shoulder. Qing let's sit down. Qin Wentian spoke in a low voice. Qing lightly nodded her head, and the two of them sat down. Qing chest was slightly tilted, and her body unceasingly leaned towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian took the opportunity to pull her into his embrace. At this moment, his heart wasn't as calm as he appeared on the surface. Qing had always been cold. She was strong and independent, and had never been so attached to him before. At this moment he could truly feel her fragility. Wentian, were we wrong? Qing softly asked. She rested her head on Qin Wentian's thighs as her beautiful eyes stared into the distance. In this world there's no such thing as right or wrong. Only the strong and the weak. There are some things that we can't control. There are many people in the sacred academy who are eyeing you covetously, but your fellow apprentice sisters all stood by your side without any hesitation, fighting for you. You should be grateful and cherish these feelings, but there's no need to blame yourself. If they met with trouble, I believe you would also stand up for them without any hesitation, am I right? Given how sharp Qin Wentian's senses were, how could he not know what Qing was referring to? Nye Yunchang's death must have affected her greatly. But ultimately, they were embroiled in this war because of me. Qing still blamed herself. She couldn't forget Nye Yunchang's words, and couldn't forget the smile on her face before her death. Qin Wentian knew that no matter how he tried to persuade her, it was useless. This was an unsolvable problem. In truth, he would also ask himself if he could do it all over again. If he could do it all over again, would he be able to do it better? He didn't know. No one would know. The only thing he could do now was to make himself stronger. This way, no one would dare to bully those around him. If he wasn't strong enough, he would have to maintain a certain level of vigilance. Qin Wentian lowered his head and stared at Qing. He discovered that there were crystalline tears in her eyes. Despite her strong character at this moment, she was lying in his embrace, unable to conceal her fragility. Qing tears can also heal wounds. Qin Wentian gently spoke, hugging Qing even tighter. Qing tears unceasingly flowed down her cheeks. She shifted her body, changing her direction and burrowing into Qin Wentian's embrace, hugging him tightly. Perhaps only in front of the person she loved the most would she be able to let go of all pretense, to let go of all her strength. Qin Wentian hugged the delicate figure in his embrace. His heart felt like it was about to melt. He gazed at the scenery in the distance. There was no scenery in this world that could compare to the beauty of Qing tears. Those tears contained her exquisite emotions. Chapter 1205. Qin Wentian and the others finally returned. He was still in his giant form, stomping on the ground. On his left and right shoulders, Qing and Mo Qingcheng stood respectively, exuding a breathtaking aura. All the experts around him floated in the air as he sped towards the central region of the Sacred Academy. More and more people who were separated from the group gathered together. When they returned to the central region of the Sacred Academy, they saw a shocking scene that caused the hearts of many to tremble. Qin Wentian had returned. He had brought back his two beauties. Not only did they return, they even started to search for the experts of the White Tiger People's Alliance. This time around it was their turn to gather together and retaliate. Another storm of carnage ensued. Within the central region of the Sacred Academy, several more geniuses were slaughtered mercilessly by Qin Wentian and the others. As for the two greater white tigers, they were roasted once again. Qin Wentian and the others sat together, roasting the white tiger meat. The fragrance of the white tiger wafted over, causing the spectators from afar to salivate. Their hearts were filled with shock as they stared at these crazy fellows. After that, the news of Huang Yudi's death was circulated to the Sacred Academy, causing the entire Sacred Academy to be in a state of shock. What sort of character was Huang Yudi? He was the second strongest existence in the younger generation of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, a supreme genius. He was also the younger brother of Huang Shatian. Huang Yudi was actually killed. This news was like a bolt from the blue to many geniuses. Qin Wentian's killing spree was no longer limited to the White Tiger people. They even dared to kill Huang Shatian. This was simply too crazy. If Huang Shatian knew that his younger brother, Huang Yudi, had been killed, how angry would he be? Would rivers of blood flow in this Sacred Academy? This news swiftly circulated to all 4 Sacred Academies. Many experts of the White Tiger People's Alliance started to panic. Once, they frenziedly hunted down the experts of the Namhuang clan, waiting for Qin Wentian to exit the Supreme Might rankings. However, never in their wildest dreams did they expect that after Qin Wentian exited the rankings, their nightmare would begin. Qin Wentian and the others ate the roasted white tiger meat as their strength soared. Mo Qingqing's cultivation base was the lowest, but the benefits she received were the most obvious. She actually broke through, stepping into the second level of Immortal Foundation. Naturally, her cultivation base had no influence on this battle. But Qin Wentian was still very happy to see her gradually growing stronger. Later on, we will head to the other 2 Sacred Academies and gather everyone together. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone nodded their heads. All of them hoped to reunite with their fellow disciples as soon as possible. Enough. In the air, a supreme pressure bore down. This was the law pressure of the Sacred Academy. At this instant, this pressure enveloped all 4 Tiandao Sacred Academies, including the sky-connecting realm. Countless people inclined their heads and stared at the sky. The Sacred Academy was originally a place of cultivation. You all broke the rules of the Sacred Academy, and that's why we allowed you to kill so many people. Right now, both sides have suffered heavy casualties. Have you learned your lesson? A majestic voice rang out in the ears of everyone. However, even though this was the voice of the Sacred Academy, everyone didn't agree with it. Cultivation places had to compete with each other before they could improve themselves. If not, there wouldn't be a sky-connecting realm in the first place. The rules of the Sacred Academy had always maintained a bottom line, protecting their lives. From now on, no matter who it is, stop killing. I will allow you all to find your friends. If you all want to fight, do as you please. But remember this, you are not allowed to break the rules of the Sacred Academy. If not, the Sacred Academy will expel you. As the sound of the voice faded, the expressions of Qin Wentian and the others froze. Everyone stop killing? In that case, what about their friends who died? All of them felt some reluctance, but at the same time they felt a sense of relief. Everyone was extremely tense in this battle. They didn't know when their friends would die. In fact, they didn't even know when it would be their turn to die. They didn't forget that they still had a powerful enemy, Huang Shatian. If he appeared, who would be able to stop him? Hence, at this moment their emotions were conflicted and complicated. There was reluctance, but at the same time they felt relieved. In the air, a gigantic diagram appeared. This diagram was boundlessly vast and everyone knew what it was with a single glance. This diagram was none other than the diagram of the Sacred Academy. It had the outline of the entire academy within it. More accurately speaking, it was a reflection of the entire academy, because at this moment everyone could see themselves in the diagram above their heads. Their silhouettes were all reflected within. The entire Tiandao Sacred Academy trembled. They could actually see everyone. How clear! Someone sighed in admiration. Above the Sacred Academy, that divinity-like existence was truly omnipotent. Senior sister is there. GD's followers pointed in a few directions. Yunxi is there as well as Shunga. An expert from the Namhuang clan spoke. The experts from the Battle Saint tribe also saw their companions. Qin Wentian also saw Purgatory and Little Rascal. They were actually together, hiding in an extremely desolate location. He also saw Hua Taishu and Zi Qingxian. In fact, there was a battle going on in another location. However, the battle suddenly stopped. They inclined their heads and stared at the sky, clearly hearing the imposing voice of the Sacred Academy. After that, Qin Wentian saw Huang Wudi, and by Mao as a cold killing intent flashed in his eyes. Huang Shatian doesn't seem to be here. He should be cultivating in a secret realm somewhere. Someone from afar spoke. Look over there. Someone pointed to a secret realm. The 4 devil kings of the myriad devil islands were guarding it, sitting there and cultivating. After that, a figure walked out with his hands clasped behind his back, exuding magnificence. This person was none other than Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian is out. At this moment, countless gazes landed on Huang Shatian. Huang Yudi had died. Most probably, Huang Shatian still had no idea about this news. People from the 9 Emperors Immortal State, White Tiger People, Tenlon Heaven Kingdom, all of them turned their gazes to the direction where Huang Shatian was at. There might be several people in the Sacred Academy whose strength wasn't inferior to Huang Shatian. But because of this battle in the Sacred Academy, Huang Shatian was undoubtedly the most famous among them. Only to see Huang Shatian slowly walking out. His entire body seemed to be filled with law energy. He walked towards the 4 devil kings. The 4 of them stood up at the same time as their devil might towered up into the sky. Huang Shatian punched out. The human emperor descended upon the world, staring down at the heavens and earth as he blasted out an emperor fist at the 4 devil cultivators. However, the 4 devil cultivators were able to trap Huang Shatian. How powerful were they? The blood-colored judgment energy was like a cage, destroying Huang Shatian's attack. But at this moment, Huang Shatian seemed to have been possessed by a human emperor. He transformed into a human emperor, unexcelled in the world. His attacks were like the attacks of a human emperor, capable of crushing all existences. A terrifying battle appeared in the vision of everyone, causing the void to tremble. Even from afar, everyone could feel the boundless might of the battle. The 4 devil kings were actually unable to withstand the attacks of the human emperor like Huang Shatian. He grew stronger and stronger, even allowing the boundless judgment energy to enter his body. He still managed to land a human emperor fist on one of the devil kings, causing that devil king to be flung through the air. The other 3 devil kings sped over at top speed. However, cracks started to appear in the originally flawless judgment energy. Although they were still powerful, they understood that if the battle continued, they might be defeated. Hence, they actually retreated. This time around, Huang Shatian defeated the alliance of 4 incomparably tyrannical devil kings. Huang Shatian has returned. The cultivators of the 9 Emperors Immortal State were excited. Was he finally back? When Huang Shatian appeared, who could compete with him? After Qin Wentian's return, they suffered an unprecedented blow. Now, an even more powerful Huang Shatian had returned. Unfortunately, the rules of the Sacred Academy actually forbade killing. At this moment, One cultivator after another moved in the direction of Huang Shatian. They were actually preparing to gather around Huang Shatian. Qin Wentian calmly watched all of this. His body grew larger. At this moment in the void scroll, his figure was so conspicuous. One could see that the cultivators of the Namhuang clan alliance were all moving towards him with him as the center. Naturally, other than Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian, there were also many other powerful cultivators cultivating in different locations. For example, in a certain location, there was a terrifying devil cultivator that seemed to be the descendant of a devil god. He was 2 meters tall and had devilish eyes. He stood on the ground roaming the world alone. And in another location, a powerful expert from the Sanluo Immortal Empire was currently fighting against an expert from the demon race. Facing the joint attacks of several experts, he swept through everything in his path. There was also a mysterious and terrifying character from the Beast God sect. He was shrouded in black mist, and there were actually over 10 greater demons before him, including experts from the White Tiger people and Tianpeng people. He didn't kill them, nor did he cripple them. This couldn't be considered breaking the rules of the Sacred Academy, but he was absorbing their energy bit by bit. In a certain location in the Sacred Academy, Jia Nantian let out a long howl as he soared up into the clouds. Spreading his wings, he transformed into a gigantic golden-winged great rock, becoming the sovereign of the skies as he flew towards the expert from the Beast God sect. There was actually someone who dared to act against his Tianpeng people, using them to cultivate. Jiang Ziyu and several experts from the Jiang clan stood together. There was a 9th-level Immortal Foundation expert among them. His aura was unparalleled, and he stood shoulder to shoulder with Jiang Ziyu. Just a single glance from him gave off an unfathomable feeling. In an ancient hall in the Sacred Academy, a group of devil experts stood there. The person in the lead was none other than the mysterious priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall. She quietly stood there as the 4 defeated devil cultivators came to report. She glanced at the void scroll in the sky before moving towards the direction where Qin Wentian was at. Chu Qingyi also saw Qin Wentian. She stared at the figure she loved and hated at the same time. He was like a divinity standing in the air, summoning his companions, but at the same time, attracting his enemies. After entering the Tiandao Sacred Academy for a short period of over 40 years, Qin Wentian already stood at the peak of the Sacred Academy, becoming one of the most dazzling characters in the Sacred Academy. Finally, someone appeared before Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian learned of the news that Huang Yudi was killed, but there were no fluctuations of aura from him. He merely inclined his head and glanced at the void scroll in the sky. His gaze then landed in the direction of Qin Wentian and Qing'er as an incomparably sharp killing intent flashed in his eyes. For those who have enemies, kill. No matter who they are, kill. No matter if the rules of the Sacred Academy allow it or not, kill. Chapter 1206. Qin Wentian also stared at Huang Shatian. The two of them stared at each other from the diagram in the air, staring at each other from afar. Their eyes gleamed with a similar light. That was the coldness of killing intent. Huang Shatian didn't move forward. There were too many experts gathered around Qin Wentian. Although he was already at the peak of Immortal Foundation, it was impossible for him to fight against so many experts alone. Wordless from the Wenxin Temple was already very difficult to deal with. There were also the experts from the Battle Saint tribe and GD's followers. Even if Huang Shatian was incomparably confident in his own strength, he wouldn't be so conceited. He waited for the experts to gather around him. With him as the center, the experts from the White Tiger People Alliance gathered. With Qin Wentian as the center, the experts from the Namhuang Clan Alliance gathered. Even with the might of the Sacred Academy, they had no intentions of stopping. Both sides were geniuses at the peak of the immortal realms. The number of casualties in this battle was far from what it could be compared to back then when they fought in the sky-connecting realm. A gust of wind rose in the Sacred Academy. When the two powers gathered, the golden-winged great rock was like the sovereign of the skies, directly attacking the mysterious expert from the Beast God sect. Right now, Jia Nanshan's cultivation base was at the peak of Immortal Foundation, and he was also a pure-blooded golden-winged great rock. His wings were sharper than immortal weapons, and his claws could even shatter immortal weapons. Each of his attacks contained the power to reap lives. However, everyone discovered that this unknown expert from the Beast God sect in the Sacred Academy was actually so powerful that it was terrifying. He was actually proficient in controlling the myriad of beasts and was like the lord of all beasts. His gaze was extremely terrifying, even able to affect Jia Nantian. He could make the myriad of beasts submit to him, prostrating themselves beneath his feet. The two of them violently fought, shaking the heavens and earth. Jia Nantian was like the sovereign of the sky, while the expert from the Beast God sect was like the king of all beasts. The two of them fought for a long time, yet neither of them could do anything to the other. This caused the hearts of the spectators to tremble. This mysterious expert from the Beast God sect actually had the strength to contend against Jia Nantian. Clearly, he was also one of the characters that stood at the peak of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Nam Huang Yunxi returned to Qin Wentian's side. Little Rascal and Purgatory returned as well. The experts from the various powers all returned one after another. When they saw them, smiles flashed in the eyes of many. However, there were also a few who had disappeared. There were still quite a few who had died. They were hunted down while they were fleeing for their lives. In fact, they didn't even know who was the one who killed them. Their eyes were filled with rage as they stared at the silhouettes around Huang Shatian. Without a doubt, these silhouettes belonged to the White Tiger Alliance. Those silhouettes that vanished were all killed by experts from the White Tiger Alliance. Huang Shatian moved. The experts from the White Tiger People Alliance respected him as their leader. Although they were arrogant, they still believed in strength. Among them, Huang Shatian was the strongest. He naturally had the qualifications to command them. A group of figures flew over from another sacred academy, heading towards the sacred academy where Qin Wentian was at. Even though the sacred academy released the majestic voice of law, it was still unable to extinguish the anger of both sides. Regardless of Huang Shatian or Qin Wentian, all of them felt the same way. Before the battle at the Sky Connecting Realm, in truth, both sides had some reservations. But after the true life and death battle unfolded, the reservations they felt grew lesser and lesser. When the experts from the Nine Emperors' Immortal State and the White Tiger People gained the absolute advantage and chased after the experts from the Namhuang clan, when they surrounded the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan, their hearts started to swell up. They thought that even if they humiliated the holy maidens and killed them, who would know who was the one who did it? There were so many powers participating. The Nine Emperors' Immortal State, the White Tiger People, Zidi's followers, the Lightning God Hall, and the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom were all disciples of peak powers. Could it be that the Namhuang clan dared to declare war on all of them? Their arrogant attitude caused them to lose respect, forgetting the reservations they had at the very beginning, which led to their deaths. When the hatred of death enveloped the Namhuang clan and Jidi's followers, when they launched their counterattack, how could they have any reservations? Nie Yunchang's death had provoked Qing. Even if it was Huang Yudi, she would still kill him. From the moment the sky-piercing battle erupted, the situation had already spiraled out of control. When Huang Shatian and the others slowly walked over to Qin Wentian, the countless geniuses in the surroundings could all sense the terrifying killing intent radiating from Huang Shatian. In fact, they all felt that even if the Sacred Academy was enraged, Huang Shatian would still kill to avenge Huang Yudi. This was especially so when they saw the calmness in Huang Shaishan's eyes that were terrifying to the extreme. This thought was even more ingrained in their hearts. Staring at Huang Shatian leading his group of experts, the people around Qin Wentian all had heavy expressions on their faces. Back then during the sky-piercing battle, it was this Huang Shatian who reversed everything. Now, he even domineeringly defeated the 4 devil cultivators from the myriad devil islands. How tyrannical had his strength reached? Who could stop him? Those who paid attention noticed that not far away from them, a group of experts from the myriad devil islands appeared. It was none other than the priestess leading the 4 devil cultivators as well as the other experts from the myriad devil islands. It was as though she had already quietly appeared before Huang Shatian. She was very quiet. The experts from both sides no longer needed to look at the picture scroll in the sky. Their vision could directly see each other's existences. Huang Shatian stepped in the air. Each step he took contained a law energy of the great Tao, as though he was trampling on the hearts of everyone. His face was expressionless, yet he exuded a terrifying pressure. His silhouette exuded magnificence throughout the generations, exuding an aura of supremacy. When he arrived not far away from Qin Wentian and the others, Huang Shatian halted. He stood in the air, staring down at Qin Wentian and the others. Those cold eyes of his seemed to be staring at a group of dead people, devoid of any emotions. He swept a glance at Qin Wentian. Just a single glance, his gaze directly swept past Qin Wentian. It was as though in the eyes of Huang Shatian, his opponent had never been Qin Wentian. Or more accurately, none of the experts before him had the qualifications to be his opponent. They weren't worthy. But it was precisely this group of people that led to the death of his royal brother, Huang Yudi. He could allow Huang Yudi to encounter some setbacks and tribulations. Even if he encountered some humiliation, he felt that it was a form of tempering, grinding away the wildness of his personality. But now Huang Yudi was dead. He had disappeared forever. He had been killed. The person who killed him was that woman, the woman he had once praised. She was the daughter of Chongqing the Great and the disciple of G.D. Huang Shaishan's gaze swept past Qin Wentian and fell directly on Qing who was behind him. I met you once in the Sacred Academy. I thought that you were very good and had great potential. That was indeed the case. Otherwise, Yudi wouldn't have died at your hands. Huang Shatian stared at Qing as he coldly continued, however, how could you dare to kill him? How could you dare to kill him? Qing cold gaze similarly stared at Huang Shatian. There was no fear in her eyes. How could she not dare to kill him? After Nie Yunchang said those words to her, she didn't blame her senior sister. However, her hatred for Huang Yudi had reached the extreme. She had never wanted to kill someone so badly before. Hence she disregarded everything, even disregarding her own safety, all for the sake of killing Huang Yudi. How could she not dare to do so? Even if she had to rush over once more, she would still kill him without any hesitation. What a stubborn woman. Now, no matter what I say, it would be useless. My younger brother is already dead. Even if I kill you, how can I save his life? Huang Shatian calmly spoke. He glanced behind him and an instant later, an expert carried a corpse over. This corpse was none other than Huang Yudi, the Huang Yudi who was killed by Huang Shatian. If you wish to die more quickly, kneel before my younger brother and kowtow in repentance. I will let you suffer less. Huang Shatian calmly spoke, his voice filled with extreme arrogance as well as boundless coldness. With regards to the person who killed his younger brother Huang Yudi, Huang Shatian not only wanted Qing to die, he also wanted her to kneel in repentance. How dare you, GD's followers, Emozian icily spoke. Huang Shatian deserves to die. You should be one of the participants, right? Since you are GD's followers, kneel, kowtow and cripple your immortal foundation, I won't kill you. Huang Shatian stared at Emozian as he spoke. Emozian was also proficient in spatial energy and was very powerful. However, she was still disregarded by Huang Shatian. In this place, if he wanted to kill someone, who could obstruct him? One of GD's disciples carried Nie Yunchang's corpse as she walked forward. Her gaze was cold as she stared at Huang Shatian. Huang Wudi by Mao. At this moment, a voice suddenly rang out. It was Qin Wentian who spoke. Huang Shatian and the others turned their gazes over, landing on Qin Wentian. However, Qin Wentian didn't even look at Huang Shatian. Just like him, Qin Wentian's gaze directly swept past him, landing on Huang Wudi and Bai Mao. The two of you kneel before Nie Yunchang and kowtow in repentance. I will let you two die more quickly, Qin Wentian coldly spoke. A moment later, everyone was shocked as they stared at Qin Wentian in bewilderment. He used Huang Shaishan's words to return it to the other party. How impudent! You don't know the immensity of the heavens and earth. Are you even worthy? An expert from the 9 Emperors' immortal state spoke in rage. This Qin Wentian most probably didn't know that a calamity was about to befall him. Back then in the Wenqin Temple, Bu, there were still 4 experts protecting you. That's why you were able to struggle at death's door and flee like a stray dog. Today you actually still dare to speak such arrogant words? After your woman dies, she won't be lonely. After I kill her, I will take your life. A stray dog? Qin Wentian laughed. Back then, that 8th level immortal foundation prince of your 9 emperors' immortal state must have thought so as well. That's why you guys don't even know how he died. The gazes of everyone stiffened. They instantly recalled that back then, Huang Dangtian and several other experts chased after Qin Wentian, who was at the 5th level of Immortal Foundation. After that, they all disappeared. Now that they heard Qin Wentian's words, they were actually killed by him. Back then, Qin Wentian was only at the 5th level of Immortal Foundation, but he actually managed to kill Huang Dangtian and several other powerful experts. That was under the rules of the Sacred Academy. How dare you kill Dangtun? Huang Wudi's killing intent surged. Under the rules of the Sacred Academy, wasn't there a white tiger that was roasted alive back then? Qin Wentian's words caused everyone to understand. Huang Shatian coldly laughed, staring at Qin Wentian like he was looking at a corpse. He lifted his hand and waved it downwards. Chapter 1207. As Huang Shaishan's palm slammed down, the wind and clouds moved. Whistling immortal energy instantly engulfed the area. The experts from both sides widened the distance between each other, instantly occupying an extremely vast space. At their level, the area of their attacks was extremely vast. For a group battle like this, they naturally had to widen the area of their attacks. The experts from afar kept on retreating. The battle line lengthened. The terrifying storm of immortal might was like a raging storm, capable of overturning this entire space. Huang Shatian stood high up in the air, exuding an unexcelled aura. Huang Wudi and the others stepped out, rushing over. Could it be that these people dare to go against the rules of the Sacred Academy? Upon seeing the heaven-shaking battle, the hearts of many trembled. Not long ago, when the might of the Sacred Academy descended, these people directly started a battle? Were they trying to ignore the rules? Especially after the words spoken by Huang Shatian earlier. He wanted to kill Qing'er and Qin Wentian. He even wanted Qing'er to kneel and repent before her death. He was Huang Shatian, he naturally would do what he said. Since he said it, he naturally dared to do it. At this moment, Huang Shatian didn't move. Qin Wentian didn't move as well. Staring at the silhouette of Qin Wentian, Huang Shaishan's eyes flashed with incomparable arrogance. You think that your opponent is me, but in my eyes you don't exist at all. No matter how talented you are still someone who is about to die. As the sound of his voice faded, his gaze pierced through Qin Wentian, landing in the direction of Qing'er. Beside Qing'er and Mozian, Qida and several other experts were guarding her. Huang Shatian had said that he wanted to kill Qing'er, so he would definitely do so. Although Qing'er's strength had increased greatly after her transformation, and she even possessed a trace of the might of an immortal king, how could she be compared to an existence like Huang Shatian? Huang Shatian was already one of the characters that stood at the peak of the Sacred Academy, a peak-level Immortal Foundation expert. The immortal king might he controlled wasn't something that Qing'er, who was at the 5th level of Immortal Foundation, could compare to. They were simply on two different levels. If Huang Shatian wanted to kill Qing'er, it would be as easy as flipping his palm. If I want to kill her, do you think you can stop me? Boundless law energy circulated around Huang Shatian. Spatial law energy cascaded down unceasingly from him, illuminating this entire space. With a step forward, he transformed into a spatial shadow, wanting to pass through Qin Wentian and move towards Qing'er. His entire person seemed to have transformed into law energy, enveloping Huang Shatian within. Boundless divine light circulated around Qin Wentian. His true godlike body appeared as law energy cascaded down unceasingly. He lifted his palm and blasted out a palm imprint. Countless ancient characters whistled through the air together with the palm imprint, destroying this entire space. This terrifying palm imprint blotted out the sun, wanting to destroy Huang Shatian, directly enveloping Huang Shaishan's body. Huang Shaishan's body glowed with a resplendent light as he transformed into a human emperor. When the palm imprint blasted down, it actually sank into the terrifying spatial law energy and was devoured bit by bit. That tyrannical spatial law energy tore it apart. Qin Wentian's terrifying attack actually didn't even have the qualifications to come into contact with Huang Shaishan's body. In that case, what qualifications did Qin Wentian have to be Huang Shaishan's opponent? When everyone saw this scene, they understood that since Huang Shatian has returned, no matter how dazzling Qin Wentian was before, he was destined to become a foil for Huang Shatian. For a peak-stage Immortal Foundation character who has already come into contact with the gate leading to the Immortal King realm, They have already surpassed the 9 levels of Immortal Foundation in the ordinary sense. They only needed 1 foot to step into the Immortal King realm. Cultivators in the world were very clear that although the difference between a great level was just a single step, it was already a qualitative change. Immortal Kings already stood on another level. It was extremely easy for them to destroy Immortal Foundation characters. There had never been an Immortal Foundation character who could fight against an Immortal King without the aid of supreme treasures. Hence, although Huang Shatian has yet to enter the Immortal King realm, he was already standing at the true peak of Immortal Foundation. How could Qin Wentian compare to him? With Huang Shaishan's return, no one in the Namhuang clan alliance would be able to obstruct him. Rumble! A terrifying spatial barrier enveloped Qin Wentian, causing him to sink into a terrifying space. After that, Emperor Light radiated from Huang Shatian, gushing towards him. Qin Wentian's expression froze. Countless ancient characters floated around him, resisting the Emperor Light. However, at this moment, Huang Shatian directly ignored him and walked past him, leaving behind only a series of afterimages. "I will kill you when I return," Huang Shatian coldly spoke. His tone was so calm, as though this was an insignificant matter. Since the daughter of the Evergreen Immortal sect dared to kill Yudi, he would capture her first. After that, he would look for Qin Wentian. Both of them would have to pay the most painful price. As for the anger of the Sacred Academy, he heard that voice earlier. Those who violated the rules of the Sacred Academy would be expelled. Expelled? Expelled from the Sacred Academy? He, Huang Shatian, had already obtained what he wanted in the Sacred Academy. He believed that even if he left the Sacred Academy, he would still be able to ascend to the Immortal King realm. He was incomparably confident that even if he was expelled from the Sacred Academy today, he would still be the dazzling Huang Shatian who exuded magnificence through the generations. Qin Wentian could sense the power within Huang Shaishan's attack. He clearly understood that given his current 6th level Immortal Foundation, even if he cultivated his innate techniques to the extreme, even if he grasped an ultimate art, it was still impossible for him to jump so many levels and fight against Huang Shatian, who had a trace of Immortal King might. When he saw Huang Shatian walking towards the direction of Qing'er, he closed his eyes. An instant later, huge waves rose up in his body. In just an instant, his entire body was as red as blood as a supreme demonic might gushed forth, shooting up into the sky. He released his Immortal Foundation. That terrifying blood-colored light frenziedly gushed into his Immortal Foundation, permeating every part of his body. This sudden change caused the expressions of everyone to change as they stared in shock at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian actually radiated a terrifying aura that caused the hearts of everyone to tremble. A blood-colored light cascaded down from his body as his eyes turned incomparably demonic. When he inclined his head and stared at the sky, a dazzling astral soul appeared above his Immortal Foundation. A beam of demonic blood-colored light shot up into the sky, as though it wanted to sense the 9 heavenly layers of the 9 heavenly layers. Beams of astral light descended from the sky as thunderous rumbling sounds shook the heavens and earth. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The violent aura instantly transformed into a shocking demonic wind that engulfed the entire central region of the Sacred Academy. This entire space started to rumble, and within the tempest, numerous supremely powerful greater demons appeared. When these greater demons opened their eyes, a startling demonic glow could be seen within. Many people in combat halted, staring at Qin Wentian. The experts from the Namhuang Clan Alliance all had looks of joy on their faces, while the experts from the White Tiger People Alliance all had unsightly expressions on their faces. The cultivation bases of these greater demons were all extremely terrifying. This was truly a terrifying army of demonic beasts. Just when Huang Shatian was preparing to kill Qing'er, his attacks had already arrived. Several experts from the White Tiger People's Alliance blocked Qing'er's path, but at this moment, Huang Shatian turned his head and glanced at Qin Wentian. His gaze similarly changed. "You said that your opponent has never been me. You think that I have no qualifications? You want to kill my woman and no one can obstruct you? In that case, let me tell you this as well. I have never treated you, Huang Shatian, as an opponent. You are merely someone whom I will surpass sooner or later, or even kill. Using the word opponent to describe you is simply overestimating you. Today I want to kill Huang Wudi. Who can obstruct me? Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with an incomparably demonic light, causing the hearts of everyone to tremble. Was Qin Wentian really not a match for Huang Shatian? Qin Wentian didn't even have the qualifications to contend against Huang Shatian? In that case, why did he dare to lead so many experts here? Why did he dare to start a war in the Sacred Academy? Everyone thought that Huang Shatian was invincible, and Qin Wentian would die for sure. But when they heard Qin Wentian's words, they could clearly feel his arrogance. Everyone thought that he didn't have the qualifications to become Huang Shaishan's enemy. But in his heart, when had he ever treated Huang Shatian as an opponent? Huang Shatian was merely someone he had to kill. That was all. If Qin Wentian said this before, everyone would only feel that he was seeking his own humiliation and didn't know the immensity of the heavens and earth. But at this moment, everyone had expressions of contemplation on their faces. Was he really arrogant and ignorant? He was only at the 6th level of Immortal Foundation and already had the qualifications to do so. If he wasn't qualified, who would be? If he broke through to the 9th level, who else in the Sacred Academy would be his opponent? Huang Shatian. If Qin Wentian really broke through to the 9th level, most probably, Huang Shatian wouldn't be his opponent. Right now in the Immortal Foundation realm, Qin Wentian still had 3 more levels to improve himself. But to Huang Shatian, he was already nearing his limit. Roar! Terrifying greater demons roared, their voices shaking the heavens and earth. Several greater demons rushed in the direction of Huang Shatian. At the same time, some of the greater demons that were summoned here also rushed towards the other experts. As for Qin Wentian himself, he was like a terrifying demon god, moving towards Huang Wudi. Some people would eventually have to pay the price for their actions. Huang Shatian said that if he wanted to kill Qing'er, no one would be able to obstruct him. In that case, if he wanted to kill Huang Wudi, he wanted to see who would be able to obstruct him. Huang Wudi was a powerful existence at the 9th level of Immortal Foundation. If it wasn't for Huang Shatian, he might be incomparably dazzling. But right now, he had become the target that Qin Wentian wanted to kill. Also, when everyone saw Qin Wentian rushing towards Huang Wudi, a thought appeared in their minds. There was a very high possibility that Huang Wudi would really be killed by Qin Wentian. Staring at Qin Wentian rushing towards him, Huang Wudi unleashed the might of his Immortal Foundation to the extreme. His human emperor light gushed forth frenziedly as he brandished his sharp sword, aiming for Qin Wentian's body. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian's body was enveloped by a supreme demonic might. Around him, a fearsome screen of light coalesced into an incomparably gigantic demon silhouette. When Huang Wudi's attack landed on Qin Wentian's body, it actually had no effect at all. Someone as powerful as Huang Wudi couldn't even break through Qin Wentian's defense. How could he continue to fight? Chapter 1208. Behind Qin Wentian, Huang Shatian realized that he had underestimated Qin Wentian after he sensed the aura of Qin Wentian's bloodline erupting. At this moment, with the aura erupting from Qin Wentian, no one except him could stop Qin Wentian from killing people, not even Huang Wudi. Only he could. His gaze was cold as he stared at Qing'er, who was being protected by so many experts. Her status was extremely high and her talent was also very good. However, she killed his brother Huang Wudi. Hence, among these people, the one who deserved to die the most was none other than this woman. The first target he wanted to kill was none other than Qing'er. But now it seemed that if he continued to attack Qing'er, Qin Wentian might kill Huang Wudi. One violent demonic beast after another attacked. Huang Shaishan's aura was completely revealed at this moment, without a trace of concealment. He transformed into a peerless Ren Huang. When he stepped out, with him as the center, the entire space fell with the supreme murderous might of Ren Huang. Those great demonic beasts that came were all bound and shrouded by the endless spatial rule lines. Even if they were extremely powerful demonic beasts, they couldn't withstand a single blow from him, and were crushed into pieces in the endless spatial storm. Mo Xian's expression was ugly. The current Huang Shatian was really too terrifying. He was much stronger than before. In these years, he clearly hadn't wasted his time and had been making great strides towards the Celestial King level. At this moment, tyrannical power of metal, sword, space, and other attributes surged from her body, enveloping the space where they were. But Huang Shatian took a step forward and crossed the space. His body stepped into the spatial barrier that she created and directly penetrated it, heading towards the place where Qing was behind her. Rumble. With a loud noise, Cheetah let out a loud roar. The incomparably huge divine ape Madra turned into the battle saint technique and blasted towards the place where Huang Shatian was. He couldn't break through the endless power of space that fell from his opponent. He could only cover the entire space and see if he could affect the power of space. Huang Shaishan's body released the supreme brilliance of space. The terrible Madra seemed to have blasted into the golden brilliance of space, and was then crushed into pieces. Huang Shatian ignored everything and continued to move forward, blocking in front of him, only to see Buyu closing his eyes and not speaking. His palms were pressed together with prayer beads in his palms as he chanted Buddhic chants. A moment later, countless deities and Buddhas appeared as numerous supreme arhats appeared, blocking Buyu's path. Although Buchan and Bujia weren't very reliable, since Buyu had participated in this battle, he would still do his best to fight. At this moment, Huang Shaishan's expression was incomparably solemn. He actually brought along the spatial brilliance and directly entered the gigantic body of the Buddha. Boundless terrifying energy opened up a hole on the body of the Buddha, and he slowly walked in, expanding the hole. Buyu chanted Buddhic chants, causing the Buddhas to step out, wanting to crush the heavens and earth. The terrifying gigantic footprints directly descended, but Huang Shatian still continued to walk forward, with no distractions in his heart. The gigantic footprints slammed down, wanting to crush him. But as the gigantic footprints landed, the experts here saw a hole appearing in the footprint. Huang Shatian walked out from it, finally arriving before Qing'er. With a grab, a spatial palm imprint directly locked onto Qing'er's body as boundless spatial storms ravaged the surroundings. Although Qing'er had already grasped a trace of immortal king might, Huang Shaishan's cultivation base was much higher than hers. He had already reached the threshold of the immortal king realm. How could she still fight against him? In an instant, Qing'er's life was in the hands of Huang Shatian. This monk has done his best. Buyu pressed his palms together. Huang Shatian was much stronger compared to before. This was especially so when he was using his full strength to deal with a single person. There was truly no one who could stop him. Just like what Huang Shatian said, if he wanted Qing'er to die, no one would be able to stop him. And indeed he succeeded. However, he didn't make a move to kill Qing'er. Turning his head, Huang Shatian stared at the figure walking over. Qin Wentian's demonic eyes gleamed with incomparable coldness. His palm was placed on Huang Wudi's head. The unexcelled 9th-level Immortal Foundation expert Huang Wudi was captured by Qin Wentian. His life and death was in the hands of Qin Wentian. When the two battles erupted, the eyes of the geniuses in the surroundings were filled with too much to take in, not wanting to miss out on any details. Regardless of Qin Wentian or Huang Shatian, both of them were so powerful that it was shocking. If Huang Shatian wanted to kill Qing'er, no one would be able to stop him. But if Qin Wentian wanted to kill Huang Wudi, who would be able to obstruct him? You are very intelligent. You know that even if you unleash the power of your bloodline, you still wouldn't be able to stop me. Hence, you chose to deal with Huang Wudi, using this to threaten me not to kill your woman. Huang Shatian stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. Qin Wentian admitted that although he was already very strong now, Huang Shaishan's proficiency was different from his. Huang Shatian was proficient in spatial energy. Even if he could threaten Huang Shatian could still evade him to kill Qing'er. From the moment she killed Yudi, her fate was already determined. She would die for sure. Earlier I didn't take your life because I underestimated you. But so what? I will deal with you first before killing her. It wouldn't be too late. Huang Shatian spoke and directly released Qing'er, causing many to be startled. He directly released her. What sort of confidence and pride was this? So what if he temporarily released Qing'er? As long as she was in the Sacred Academy, he could take her life at any time. Even if Qin Wentian used Huang Wudi to threaten him, in that case, he could only deal with Qin Wentian first before killing this daughter of the Evergreen Immortal Emperor. Qin Wentian also released Huang Wudi without any hesitation. He could sense Huang Shaishan's pride. He also knew that if he couldn't deal with Huang Shatian, No one would be able to stop him. With a flash of his silhouette, Qin Wentian soared up into the skies. Huang Shatian inclined his head and glanced at Qin Wentian. After that, he similarly soared up into the skies. Clearly, he had no choice but to admit that Qin Wentian was already qualified to be his opponent. The leaders of the two factions all soared up into the skies, facing each other. The hearts of everyone trembled when they saw this scene. At this instant, the gazes of everyone in the surroundings were all focused on the two of them. In the Sacred Academy, countless experts inclined their heads and stared at the picture scroll in the skies, staring at the location where Qin Wentian and Huang Shatan were. Even for the battle between the golden-winged great rock Jianantian and the mysterious expert from the Beast God sect, it didn't attract so much attention. The reason for this was naturally because the news of the battle between the two powers had already circulated through the Sacred Academy. It had always been the battle with the greatest rules in the Sacred Academy. In addition, right now, they didn't mind breaking the rules of the Sacred Academy. Even if they were expelled, they still wanted to kill their opponents. Both of them are equally arrogant. The spectating experts stared at the two supreme figures in the air. Each of them captured a person and didn't say anything. They released the captives one after another and continued their battle in the air. For people as prideful as them, there was no need for any unnecessary words. They all understood that this battle belonged to the two of them. Their battlefield would decide everything. Below, many of the combatants actually stopped their battle and inclined their heads to stare at the sky. Huang Wudi also stared over. Although he was safe and sound today, he suffered the greatest setback in his life. He was at the 9th level of Immortal Foundation and was captured alive by Qin Wentian. In fact, Qin Wentian didn't even spare him a glance. He knew that if it wasn't for Huang Shatian, he would already be a dead man now. The two of them were named Huang Wudi and Huang Yudi respectively. Right now, his younger brother, Huang Yudi, died in the hands of Qin Wentian's wife. He himself was actually not a match for Qin Wentian at all. The sorrow of life was nothing more than this. He initially thought that his talent was outstanding, but he discovered by chance that in front of some people, his so-called talent was nothing but a joke. Qin Wentian and Huang Shaishan's robes fluttered in the wind. Huang Shatian was like a supreme human emperor. The shadow of a human emperor enveloped him, exuding a lofty and unexcelled aura, wanting everyone in the world to submit to him. Qin Wentian's entire body was enveloped by the greater demon god's protection. He stood there, resembling a descendant of a demon god, able to kill gods and Buddhas in the sky. Even human emperors wouldn't be spared. There were no more words spoken. Boundless spatial law energy directly descended from the sky, enveloping Qin Wentian, wanting to transform the place where Qin Wentian was at into Huang Shaishan's spatial law domain. However, the demon god's protection was simply too powerful. The spatial law energy wasn't able to suppress it at all. The demon god's protection was like the law itself. Human emperor light radiated from Huang Shatian. Each beam of immortal light was like the sharpest sword. His attacks were like millions of sharp swords, slashing towards the greater demon god's shadow that was protecting Qin Wentian. The terrifying swords contained powerful spatial fluctuations, directly penetrating into the greater demon god. Qin Wentian's expression froze. The shadow of the black turtle appeared on his body again. This time the shadow of the black turtle was even larger, resembling a real black turtle. Huang Shatian stepped out and directly appeared outside of Qin Wentian's demon god's protection. He lifted his foot and walked towards Qin Wentian's defensive power. The law energy enveloped his body. His body was like the law energy. Above his body, the most powerful killing force actually appeared, directly breaking through the demon god's protection. He walked in step by step, heading towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's eyes were demonic to the extreme. The power of his bloodline was already too powerful. It wasn't something he could fully control at this moment. He asked himself that with his current strength, it wouldn't be a problem for him to deal with Huang Shatian in that battle back then. However, while he was growing, Huang Shatian was also growing. How domineering was it to directly walk through his tyrannical defensive power? Boom! Qin Wentian punched out. As this punch landed, a towering dragon's roar could be heard. An incomparably gigantic demonic dragon appeared, its roar shaking the mountains and rivers as it lunged towards Huang Shatian. That gigantic body of the demonic dragon wanted to tear Huang Shatian into pieces. Huang Shatian continued walking forward. Under the shadow of the gigantic demonic dragon, he simply walked forward with his hands behind his back. Roar! A heaven-shaking attack blasted into Huang Shatian. The demonic dragon was trapped in an absolute space, and everything around Huang Shatian seemed to be under his complete control. The terrifying demonic dragon could only advance forward bit by bit, yet it was slowly being torn into pieces by Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian continued walking forward. There seemed to be a path of golden law energy there. This attack that could destroy a 9th-level Immortal Foundation expert had no way to obstruct his advance. Qin Wentian's countenance was cold. He blasted out another attack. An incomparably gigantic demonic palm imprint was inscribed with many ancient characters, suppressing this entire space. The strength of this attack had already reached a terrifying extent. Huang Shaishan's body was forcibly grabbed by this terrifying palm imprint, burying him within. But after that, everyone saw a hole appearing in the palm imprint as the law energy dissipated. Huang Shatian walked out from it and walked towards Qin Wentian. Chapter 1209. The demon god's protection was broken. The tyrannical palm imprint couldn't do anything to him. Huang Shaishan's aura didn't fluctuate at all. At this moment he was the human emperor, a supreme human emperor. 9 emperor light revolved around him as boundless law energy gushed forth from him. It was as though he had transformed into law itself. The closer one was to him, the stronger the law domain would be. As for Huang Shatian himself, he had the strongest law domain. If one wanted to kill him, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The reason why immortal kings were so terrifying and so difficult to kill was because their physique had already reached an extreme. Huang Shatian now had a strand of immortal king might. In addition to his own strength, he was now invincible. Earlier when he went to capture Qing'er, it was the same. No one could stop him. Qin Wentian's eyes were as demonic as ever, so demonic that it caused people to feel a sense of fear. He stretched out his palm as boundless energy converged. God's hand and Buddhapath true arts fused together. In terms of cultivation base and law comprehension, he was clearly at a disadvantage because Huang Shatian had already managed to pry open the gate to the immortal king realm. But in terms of innate techniques, Qin Wentian was confident that he was stronger than Huang Shatian. In addition, his bloodline power erupted forth, causing all of his attributes to rise to another level. If the person he was facing now wasn't Huang Shatian but an ordinary 9th-level Immortal Foundation expert, he would be able to defeat his opponent easily. Just like earlier, even someone as powerful as Huang Wudi was easily captured by him. Boom! The god's palm imprint blasted out. That terrifying palm imprint contained boundless law inscriptions that blasted towards Huang Shatian. On the surface of that terrifying palm imprint, there were actually countless ancient characters of destruction and suppression that blasted downwards. This entire space was about to be suppressed, completely razed to flat ground. Bodies of flesh and blood could be easily crushed into smithereens. It was just that the person under the palm was none other than Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian, who was like a human emperor, actually radiated a 9-colored light that intertwined with each other, containing boundless transformations. He lifted his finger and pointed it at the air as boundless energy gushed forth from his immortal foundation. In an instant, 9 human emperors appeared, wielding golden spatial swords that pierced towards the gigantic palm imprint above their heads. Huang Shatian himself acted as though he didn't see anything. He continued walking forward, his steps filled with an incomparably strong self-confidence. When the 9 human emperors slashed at the golden spatial sword, the terrifying gigantic palm imprint was forcefully torn apart bit by bit. A chaotic flow of destruction seethed in the air, causing the spectators who were watching from afar to feel their hearts trembling. The feeling Qin Wentian gave off was that his defense was incomparably tyrannical, as though no one would be able to break through his defenses. His attacks were even more violent, indestructible and unstoppable. What he grasped was the power of an ultimate art, but how could Huang Shatian be weak? He was the most outstanding genius of this generation of the 9 emperors' immortal state. He was one of the strongest geniuses in the entire Tiandao Sacred Academy, and was ranked at the very top of the Supreme Might rankings. the Battle Saint tribe, Namhuang clan, Qing'er and Mo Qingcheng. All of them were nervously watching this battle. When they saw how strong Huang Shatian was, all of their hearts palpitated as they were extremely nervous. Qin Wentian's strength had already far surpassed their expectations. However, wasn't Huang Shatian the same as well? Right now, Huang Shatian exuded an invincible might. Would Qin Wentian be able to block him? In truth, to many people in the Sacred Academy, they were already extremely shocked when they saw that Qin Wentian was able to force Huang Shatian to unleash such tyrannical strength. Even the wordless monk wouldn't be able to do this. Before this, they basically didn't think that Qin Wentian would be a match for Huang Shatian. They felt that Qin Wentian didn't have the qualifications to do so despite how strong he was. But after his bloodline completely erupted, Qin Wentian grew even stronger. He was truly fighting against Huang Shatian, and Huang Shatian seemed to have no way to directly kill him. However, as Huang Shatian continued advancing, getting closer and closer to Qin Wentian, they still felt that the victor of this battle would still belong to Huang Shatian. No matter how terrifying the bloodline in Qin Wentian's body was, it ultimately wasn't a power that came from his own cultivation base or his comprehensions. No matter how terrifying it was, Qin Wentian had no way to truly control it. He could only depend on it to amplify his own strength. Huang Shatian stared at Qin Wentian. His gaze was as calm as ever. He could sense how tyrannical Qin Wentian's defenses were. He knew that unless he attacked in close combat, even with his powerful offensive innate techniques, he wouldn't be able to completely destroy Qin Wentian. At this moment, Qin Wentian borrowed the power of his bloodline to go berserk. Only the most direct and most violent attacks would be able to destroy him. Only to see Huang Shaishan's flawless human emperor immortal foundation instantly resonated with the heavens. Boundless human emperor light cascaded downwards as a supreme energy enveloped this entire space. Above Qin Wentian, numerous gigantic human emperors descended from the sky. With a thunderous boom, they didn't rush towards Qin Wentian but chose to stand guard behind Qin Wentian instead. The bodies of the 9 golden renhuangs were like the barriers of the immortals. They shone brilliantly, illuminating the entire world. Incomparably wondrous changes took place. Endless runes of rules flowed within them. The 9 golden renhuangs were filled with the power of space attribute. They turned into invisible barriers of heaven and earth, sealing off this space. Qin Wentian was in the center. Kill! Huang Shatian spat out a single word. A moment later, the diagram of the 9 human emperors shot out countless beams of golden light, wanting to shatter this entire space. In the area enveloped by the beams of light, everything would be annihilated. However, at the same time, Qin Wentian's immortal foundation similarly radiated a dazzling light. This immortal foundation actually transformed on its own, transforming into the body of Qin Wentian. A towering demonic might gushed forth as blood-colored demonic shadows appeared. Demonic dragons, great rocks, black tortoises, divine elephants and many other greater demons appeared one after another, exuding an incomparably fearsome destructive might. They stood guard around Qin Wentian as they unleashed heaven-shaking attacks, blasting towards the 9 human emperors. Golden figures descended from the sky as ancient characters of suppression could be seen floating around Qin Wentian. At the same time, terrifying ancient halberds of destruction appeared in the hands of these figures as they slashed out. Is this the power of a perfect and flawless immortal foundation? The experts of the Sacred Academy felt their hearts trembling when they saw this scene. Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian both had perfect immortal foundations. Right now, they could actually use their immortal foundation to create such a shocking power. Although Wu Xiu also had an immortal foundation, it was still hard for them to imagine that an immortal foundation could be so powerful to such an extent. Was this the power of an immortal foundation? You use the power of your bloodline to strengthen your body of flesh and blood, as well as your immortal foundation, allowing you to transform into a humanoid war beast, raising your attack power to a terrifying level. But you have to understand that no matter how strong you are, there's still a limit. The peak of immortal foundation is the limit of your strength. If your comprehension of law energy isn't strong enough, you won't be able to break through this limit. Hence, it's destined that you won't be able to kill me. Huang Shatian stared at Qin Wentian. Even if your bloodline is infused with a strand of law energy, I'm still at the peak of the 9th level, stepping into another level. I can unceasingly break through this limit, but you can't. Hence you are destined to die today. Qin Wentian didn't expect that Huang Shatian would suddenly speak at this moment. Both of them understood that no words would be able to shake the state of their hearts. Both of them had an incomparable conviction, and that was to kill their opponent. Cultivation is truly mysterious. This Tiandao Sacred Academy is filled with geniuses of the immortal realms, and even has a humanoid monster like you. I can't help but say that if you reached my level, I'm afraid even I wouldn't be your opponent. The reason why I'm saying this to you is because I suddenly feel that it's a pity, because I discovered how strong you are. It's a pity that you died here before you could mature. What a pity that I lost a powerful opponent. Huang Shaishan's voice was filled with fluctuations. If one wanted to walk to the peak, they couldn't do without some supreme enemies. Qin Wentian was very suitable to be an opponent. Huang Shatian wasn't like many people who felt that the stronger an enemy was, the earlier they should be killed. On the contrary, he felt that the stronger an enemy was, the more motivation he would have. In this world, if there was no one to contend against, the path of cultivation would be lonely. That would truly be a tragedy. How could one continue to advance? When everyone heard this, their hearts trembled. The supreme character Huang Shatian actually had a look of pity in his eyes when he walked to Qin Wentian. This was him acknowledging Qin Wentian's talent. In fact, he even admitted that if Qin Wentian reached his level, even he wouldn't be a match for him. However, everyone also understood that every word Huang Shatian said was the truth. Qin Wentian used his tyrannical bloodline to stimulate his strength to a limit, even surpassing the limits of his immortal foundation. Hence, in this state, Qin Wentian could deal with any peak-level immortal foundation experts who had yet to pry into the immortal king realm. However, Huang Shatian had already taken that step. Only by taking that step would he be able to undergo a transformation, raising his limits greatly. Hence, the ending of this battle wouldn't change. Qin Wentian also comprehended Huang Shaishan's words. In addition, he could also sense that what Huang Shatian said was the truth. Huang Shatian moved. He took a step out, arriving before Qin Wentian. The law might from him was released to the extreme as 9 human emperors appeared above his immortal foundation. Lifting a finger, Huang Shaishan's body glowed with boundless human emperor light. He transformed into a supreme human emperor as the human emperors all shot towards Qin Wentian. This attack contained all of Huang Shaishan's killing arts, exploding forth from the human emperor. Qin Wentian was about to be destroyed. The demon divinity protection appeared once more as the shadow of the divine turtle appeared. Qin Wentian let out a heaven-shaking roar of rage, as countless demonic beasts rushed out from his immortal foundation. However, as the human emperors descended, Qin Wentian's defenses were being destroyed bit by bit. This entire space was enveloped by a supreme destructive might, so powerful that it was sufficient to destroy all immortal foundation experts, including Wu Xiao. This attack was enough to take away Qin Wentian's life. Chapter 12:10. Qin Wentian's true godlike body was surrounded by ancient runes and was about to be destroyed. Qing'er and Mo Qingcheng, the experts from the Namhuang clan and the Battle Saint tribe were all extremely nervous. However, no one could participate in a battle of this level. Only Qin Wentian would be able to save them. At this moment, Qin Wentian stared ahead. There was no end to the destruction of the human emperor's body. Huang Shatian was right in front of him, waving a finger at him. With this finger, numerous supreme human emperors rushed towards him, wanting to destroy all his defenses. With his body as the center, all defenses were destroyed. Huang Shaishan's eyes were as cold as ice. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation turned blood-colored, exuding terrifying demonic qi. He continued blasting out demonic attacks, doing his best to defend against the destructive might of Huang Shatian. However, it seemed that all his efforts were futile. In this short instant, the destructive might of Huang Shatian had already destroyed all his attacks and was rushing towards him. With the 9 human emperors guarding him in all directions, he had no way to escape to the heavens and no way to the earth. Absolute space, absolute killing intent. Who at the immortal foundation level could escape from such an attack? Boom! Huang Shaishan's attack finally broke through everything, slamming into Qin Wentian's body. Huang Shatian discovered that right now, Qin Wentian's body was filled with boundless energy and wasn't destroyed at all. He pressed his finger forward, unleashing the killing intent of the human emperors. Rumbling sounds rang out as Qin Wentian's body grew several times larger. Although he was still restricted in this space, he was still like a giant. Boom boom boom. Regardless of the ancient characters, the body of truth, or the supreme physique created from God's hand, all of them were broken apart. Huang Shaishan's tyrannical attack finally landed on Qin Wentian's body. At this moment his sharp lips curled up in a cold smile. Although it was a pity, he still wanted to kill Qin Wentian no matter what. All of a sudden, Huang Shatian furrowed his brows. He inclined his head only to see that above Qin Wentian's immortal foundation, 8 terrifying greater demons manifested. They shone with a fearsome blood-colored demonic light, shining on Qin Wentian. In an instant, his entire immortal foundation felt like it was about to be sucked dry. Boundless demonic might gushed forth from his arms as the greater demon innate treasure art of God's hand appeared. In an instant, the 8 greater demons transformed into a terrifying vortex that gushed towards Huang Shatian. In an instant, the sky turned dark. This attack was like the scene of doomsday, devouring the heavens and earth as it shot towards Huang Shatian. Demons devouring the heavens and earth, doomsday arrived. Huang Shatian could sense danger at this moment. His body suddenly shone with a dazzling golden light as he retreated. However, he discovered that the terrifying vortex had already enveloped this entire space. There was basically no time for him to escape. You are ruthless enough. Huang Shatian coldly stared at Qin Wentian. His strongest attack was actually reserved for the best moment, draining all the energy in his immortal foundation to unleash this attack. Earlier he allowed Qin Wentian's attack to penetrate into his body, wanting to make him feel that victory was already in his grasp. But now, Qin Wentian chose to unleash this attack. When Huang Shaishan's attack was nearing its end, there was no doubt that this attack would be able to unleash a terrifying destructive might that could threaten Huang Shaishan's life. Knowing that he had no way to escape this attack, Huang Shatian radiated boundless spatial light, extending outwards. However, the destructive vortex directly engulfed him, devouring the boundless spatial light. Huang Shatian struggled, wanting to step into the void and leave. However, that terrifying vortex of darkness emanated an incomparably terrifying devouring force, causing him to sink deeper and deeper into it. Everyone felt their hearts trembling when they saw this scene. Huang Shatian was actually devoured by Qin Wentian's strongest attack. That vortex radiated a boundless destructive might. That terrifying vortex of darkness was like a samsara vortex of doomsday, capable of annihilating all lives. At the instant Qin Wentian blasted out that attack, he coughed out a few mouthfuls of fresh blood. His aura instantly weakened, and the terrifying aura in his body was like the receding tides. His body fell downwards, as though all his energy had been sucked dry. Qing'er and the others had already stepped out. She didn't look at Huang Shatian. In her eyes there was only Qin Wentian's safety. Numerous silhouettes flickered, surrounding Qin Wentian who had fallen to the ground. At this moment, Qin Wentian was half kneeling on the ground as he coughed out another few mouthfuls of fresh blood. His body was completely devoid of energy as he softly slumped to the ground. However, Qing'er was still holding on to him. Fresh blood dyed Qing'er's robes red. Terrifying wounds could be seen all over his body, and his aura was in an extremely weak state. Wentian. Qingqing's eyes were red. She was half kneeling on the ground, and together with Qing'er, she was hugging Qin Wentian. When she saw his current state, she felt as though her heart was being pierced by a knife. Qing'er hugged Qin Wentian tightly, as traces of tears could be seen in her eyes. How terrifying was Huang Shaishan's attack. She knew why Qin Wentian chose to wait until the very last moment to unleash that destructive attack. Because Qin Wentian understood that only he could stop Huang Shatian. If he couldn't deal with Huang Shatian would kill her. Hence, Qin Wentian didn't care about the price. Even if he had to endure heavy injuries, he still wanted to save that final attack for the very last moment. Only when all his defenses were destroyed and Huang Shaishan's attack entered his body would he act. In order to fight for the slightest chance of survival, he didn't hesitate to suffer heavy injuries. This was the character of Qin Wentian. When he was ruthless to himself, he could disregard everything. At this moment, everyone inclined their heads and stared at the sky. Although Qin Wentian was heavily injured, his eyes were also staring up at the sky. Huang Shaishan's ending had yet to be determined. Qin Wentian still hadn't relaxed his heart. Hence he had to open his eyes and watch. He was very clear how powerful this attack was. It was sufficient to destroy a peak-level Immortal Foundation expert. But he also knew who he was facing. He had personally experienced how powerful Huang Shatian was. Hence, even if it was just a single attack, he still doubted if it would be able to deal a fatal blow to Huang Shatian. And as expected, he saw a terrifying rumbling sound echoing out from the center of the vortex, shaking the heavens and earth. That terrifying energy had yet to dissipate. It had yet to completely engulf Huang Shatian. Abruptly, a supreme golden light shot out from the gap between the vortex. With a deafening boom, a terrifying explosion rang out as everything was destroyed. Huang Shaishan's silhouette appeared in the air. At this instant, the gazes of everyone froze there. Such an attack actually failed to destroy Huang Shatian? Qin Wentian stared at the silhouette of Huang Shatian as a look of reluctance flashed in his eyes. Even this attack failed to destroy him? If this was the case, what about Qing'er? Cough cough. At this moment, a low-sounding cough broke the silence in the air. The light radiating from Huang Shatian crumbled unceasingly. The human emperor armor he wore shattered into millions of fragments, instantly turning into dust. With a wail, Huang Shatian coughed out a mouthful of fresh blood as his body similarly fell from the air. Boom! His body slammed onto the ground. This sudden scene caused the people from the 9 Emperors' immortal state to have no time to react. At this moment, only then did Huang Wudi step out, rushing towards Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian has fallen as well? Great waves of shock rose in the hearts of everyone. That 6th-level Immortal Foundation expert named Qin Wentian actually went all out and defeated the powerful Huang Shatian. Upon seeing this scene, a smile flickered in Qin Wentian's eyes. Even though he was heavily injured, it was still worth it. Although he didn't manage to kill Huang Shatian, at the very least he managed to defeat him. Now that Huang Shatian had lost his combat prowess, there was no one who had absolute certainty of victory in this battle. Qing'er, Qingcheng. Qin Wentian stared at the two of them as a radiant smile flickered in his weak eyes. After that, he closed his eyes and fainted. This battle ultimately ended with both sides suffering heavy injuries. It was a tragic battle, yet a glorious battle, causing a commotion in the entire Sacred Academy. Qin Wentian used his strength and unyieldingness to let the geniuses of the Tiandao Sacred Academy have a new understanding of him. He was a character who could unleash his full strength, a character who could contend against Huang Shatian. In the sky, a terrifying pressure descended once again. An incomparably majestic face appeared in the air. He appeared in the sky above the scroll and said coldly, "Are you satisfied now? Even the will of the rules of the Sacred Academy cannot make you compromise. You still have to kill your opponent at all costs. This generation of cultivators of the Sacred Academy is very good. Since you all disregard the rules, I will give you all 3 years. 3 years later, the sermon at the Sacred Academy will be held. This will also be the last sermon at the Tiandao Sacred Academy. After this, you all can leave." The imposing voice was heard once again, causing everyone to be stunned. Was the Sacred Academy angry? 3 years later, the last sermon at the Sacred Academy would be held. After that, everyone would be chased out of the Sacred Academy? Many people were somewhat unwilling, especially those who had not yet reached a very high level of cultivation. They still hoped to be able to cultivate in the Sacred Academy for a longer period of time. However, no one truly understood the will of the Sacred Academy, and no one knew what the figure above the Sacred Academy was thinking. They made the rules, and whatever they wanted to do naturally happened. Whether it was the method of entry or the time of cultivation, it was all decided by the will of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Now, the Sacred Academy had decided to only give them the last 3 years of cultivation and 1 sermon at the Sacred Academy. Huang Wudi glanced coldly at the crowd on Qin Wentian's side. Then they took Huang Shatian with them and left. Qing'er did the same with Qin Wentian. Neither side had any intention of continuing to fight. Things had come to this point, and the Sacred Academy was already angry. If they continued to fight, who knew if the Sacred Academy would expel them right away? Now, the most important thing was the injuries of Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian. Chapter 12:11. This time around, Qin Wentian's injuries were extremely heavy. He originally had no way to fully control that terrifying bloodline power in his body. Once he unleashed it, he would grow even stronger. But when that power drained all the energy in his body, he would become extremely weak. That demonic blood was simply too tyrannical. It shouldn't have awakened so early. Back then, when it was awakened in the Blood River Holy Lands, he had forcibly used it. If it wasn't for the fact that his physique was perfect and his physique unparalleled, directly using the tyrannical power of the demonic blood which exceeded his cultivation base, he would have exploded and died. Back then when he was fleeing for his life, he killed Huang Dangtian and a few others. He also experienced a period of weakness. This time around, his condition was even more severe because not only did he use the demonic blood, he was also heavily injured by Huang Shatian. If it wasn't for the fact that he had another type of bloodline, he wouldn't have been able to endure such injuries and his internal organs would have lost their vitality. After all, he was so weak right now that he didn't have any immortal energy to heal his body. He could only rely on the energy in his body to heal himself. The diagram in the air dissipated after 3 months. Many people who had grudges against each other fought many times. The powers represented by Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian all ceased their banners and drums of drums, no longer engaging in battle. This battle was already sufficiently intense. If it continued, no one could predict what the ending would be. Time flowed by. The experts in the Tiandao Sacred Academy were all busy cultivating, not daring to stop for even a moment. Right now they only had 3 years left. And in the blink of an eye, 2 years passed. During these 2 years, Qin Wentian had been in a state where his injuries had yet to fully recover. However, he didn't delay his cultivation and would often meditate to comprehend his insights, cultivating his immortal energy and sensing his law energy. Although he was heavily injured in that battle, it also gave him many insights. Although he had personally experienced the might of immortal kings in the secret realm of the sacred ground, fighting against someone like Huang Shatian at such a close distance would undoubtedly increase his comprehension. During these 2 years, Qing'er's cultivation base also broke through to the 6th level of Immortal Foundation. Back then, the energy in her body awakened and she could control a trace of Immortal King might. From then on, her comprehension of spatial energy grew even more terrifying. In the future, when she reached the Immortal King realm, her cultivation speed would be extremely fast, far surpassing her past. In the mountains of the Sacred Academy, Qin Wentian stood on top of a boulder and breathed in the air of heaven and earth. He felt extremely comfortable. "Do you feel better?" Beside him, a figure as beautiful as a celestial maiden could be seen. It was none other than Emo Qingcheng. "Yes, much better. I should be able to go out for a walk." Qin Wentian nodded with a smile. "I heard that Huang Shatian has recovered from his injuries. You haven't fully recovered yet, so it's better if you don't go out." A beam of light shone in the space, and the golden threads gradually condensed. In front of Qin Wentian, Qing'er's figure appeared. "Qing'er, your control over Immortal King might is getting more and more powerful." Qin Wentian smiled. "Right now, I can extend my law energy to a certain distance. Within this distance, I can instantly teleport to any location." Qing'er spoke in a light voice. "Your spatial abilities are truly extraordinary. That battle back then was truly a fluke. If it wasn't for the fact that Huang Shatian felt that victory was already in his grasp and was a little more cautious, that attack might not have been able to hit him." Qin Wentian spoke as he thought back to that battle back then. "You risked your own injuries and used that powerful attack again. Even if you did it again, he might not have been able to escape." Qing'er shook her head. Qin Wentian laughed. "Qing'er, given the strand of might you can control now, immortal kings who are proficient in spatial energy would be even more terrifying. Being able to move freely within the range of one's law energy. That is teleportation." "Right." Qing'er nodded. For immortal kings who were proficient in spatial energy, they would have the ability to teleport. When fighting against such an expert, unless one was strong enough to the point where they could teleport, destroying the entire space, it would be impossible to kill them. In that case, it would be too dangerous for Huang Shatian to step into the Immortal King realm. Qin Wentian mumbled. I still have to go out and cultivate. Huang Shatian is different from Huang Yudi. He is more arrogant, and after that battle back then, he wouldn't act again in the Sacred Academy. I will accompany you then. Qin Wentian smiled and nodded. Although Qing didn't say anything, she quietly walked to the other side of Qin Wentian. Let's go. With two beauties accompanying him, it was truly a joy. Huang Shatian had indeed recovered from his injuries. At this moment, he was standing in the Tongtian Heaven Stone in the sky-connecting realm of the Sacred Academy. Behind him, there were experts from the 9 Emperors' immortal state, including Huang Wudi. Do you really want to enter closed-door seclusion for a year? 2 years ago, if you didn't underestimate your opponent, you would have been able to kill him. Are you not going to take revenge now? Huang Wudi spoke in a low voice. Underestimate my opponent? Huang Shatian mocked. Don't try to find a high-sounding reason for me. During that battle, I had the heart to kill him, but in the end, both of us were heavily injured. But given the disparity in our cultivation bases, there's no doubt that I lost. Since I lost, what qualifications do I have to continue fighting? I will temporarily spare the lives of him and the daughter of the evergreen immortal state, but not now. As he spoke, Huang Shatian walked towards the sky-connecting immortal stone, stepping into it once more. Huang Wudi sighed. He wasn't worried that Qin Wentian would come to kill him again, because as long as Huang Shatian was alive, Qin Wentian and the others would understand a logic. If Huang Shatian really wanted to kill someone, other than Qin Wentian, no one else would be able to stop him. In fact, even Qin Wentian might not be able to do so. Hence, Qin Wentian wouldn't act again unless he was confident enough to kill Huang Shatian. And Huang Shatian also didn't have any intentions to act again. This meant that the battle between both parties could only wait until they returned to the immortal realms. In this final year, the geniuses of the Sacred Academy all set aside their grudges and only focused on cultivation. Only when they were about to exit did they feel the urgency of time. They had to fight for every second they could. During this 1 year, Qin Wentian roamed the various secret realms of the Sacred Academy. His cultivation base rose little by little. He believed that before he exited this place, it shouldn't be a problem for him to raise his cultivation base to the 7th level of Immortal Foundation. In this case, even if he didn't use his bloodline power and just used his original cultivation base, only Immortal Foundation experts on the same level as Huang Shatian would be able to threaten him. Time flowed by like flowing water. The more everyone hoped that time would slow down, the faster it passed. 3 years passed. Today, the sound of a bell rang out in the Sacred Academy. Every corner of the Sacred Academy could hear it. After that, the sound drifted into the ears of the crowd. The final Tao lecture of the Sacred Academy would no longer be held in 4 different Sacred Academies. Close to 20,000 geniuses would gather together to listen to the Tao. This time around, the location of the Tao lecture of the Sacred Academy would be the Sky-Connecting Realm. At this moment, the Sky-Connecting Realm was undergoing an intense transformation. The light barrier in the surroundings vanished. In the central region of the Sky-Connecting Realm, each and every stone pillar radiated boundless immortal light, shooting up into the clouds. Over there, a boundless starry sky seemed to have appeared. These stone pillars were none other than the immortal seats in the Sky-Connecting Realm. All the geniuses would sit on them and listen to the final Tao lecture of the Sacred Academy. Numerous figures soared through the air, landing in the central region of the Sky-Connecting Realm. They inclined their heads and stared at the boundless starry sky. Resplendent astral light cascaded downwards, and below the Sky-Connecting Realm, there seemed to be a terrifying constellation diagram that was currently absorbing the boundless astral energy, radiating a resplendent light. This place was the Sky-Connecting Realm. It seemed as though it could truly connect to the heavens. Qin Wentian accompanied Qing'er and Mo Qingqing as they descended into the Sky-Connecting Realm. Behind him, Purgatory hugged Little Rascal and followed. Little Rascal seemed to be enjoying the feeling of being in Purgatory's embrace, while Purgatory had a look of disdain on her face as she stared at Little Rascal. Numerous figures landed beside Qin Wentian. These were all experts from the Battle Saint tribe. Wentian, Namhuang Yunqi and Nanfeng Shunga appeared. They walked over together with the experts from the Namhuang clan. Yunqi Shunga. Qin Wentian smiled as he called out, "Let's continue forward." Emicham, they continued forward. moving towards the direction of the sky-connecting immortal rock. Over there was a figure with his hands behind his back, quietly standing there. Qin Wentian's gaze landed on that figure as a gleam of sharpness flashed in his eyes. After that, he only saw that figure slowly turning around, glancing at Qin Wentian and Qing'er. His eyes were as calm as ever. After that, his silhouette flashed as he appeared on the stone pillar at the very front. Ahead, the experts from the 9 Emperors' immortal state, White Tiger People, Thunder God Hall, Tenlon Heaven Kingdom, and many others all stared at him with cold gazes, their killing intent extremely intense. There's still one last Tao lecture left in the Sacred Academy. Once you exit the sky-connecting realm, it will be your doomsday. The baleful aura radiating from Bai Mao was terrifying. In the sky-connecting realm, the White Tiger People had never experienced such humiliation before. I truly want to see whose doomsday it will be. The Holy Maiden of the Namhuang clan similarly had a cold look in her eyes. When had their Namhuang clan ever feared anyone? Let's go up. Qin Wentian didn't look at those people. There was no point in arguing with them. He knew that the other party wanted nothing more than to tear him into 1,000 pieces. However, wasn't he the same as well? Numerous figures flickered, landing on the stone pillars as they were enveloped by starlight. From different locations in the Sacred Academy, more and more experts rushed over. When everyone arrived in the sky-connecting realm, they discovered that the starlight enveloped this entire world. The diagrams on the ground radiated an incomparably intense light, and after that, they felt the entire space trembling. It was as though they had arrived in the starry skies. When they glanced at their surroundings, the Tiandao Sacred Academy was nowhere to be seen. In this place there was only the sky-connecting realm. The sky-connecting realm could connect to the heavens. Chapter 12:12. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the sky. He was still sitting on the towering stone pillar, but he had a feeling that his body was moving. The entire sky-connecting realm was moving towards the boundless starry space. The diagram of the sky-connecting realm seemed to be an extremely powerful divine formation. Starry space. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared into the distance. There seemed to be an incomparably gigantic constellation there. Despite the distance, he could still sense how vast and tyrannical its aura was. Are we shuttling through the starry space? A thought appeared in the minds of many people. When an intense beam of light descended, the piercing divine light made it so that they couldn't open their eyes. The light ahead was countless times more dazzling compared to the sun. At this moment, their eyes couldn't endure the light. Even their immortal senses couldn't resist it. Everyone instantly lost their senses. Boom! An intense tremor rang out. Qin Wentian's immortal sense could finally stretch out. When he opened his eyes, he was still sitting on the towering stone pillar. However, Qing'er, Qingcheng and the others who were beside him had already vanished. Before him, a figure could be seen floating in the air. This person was someone Qin Wentian had never seen before. He quietly stood there as though he had always been waiting for him. He was clad in simple robes and his cultivation base wasn't high, only at the 6th level of immortal foundation, the same as him. However, just by standing there casually, he gave off a feeling as though he was one with the heavens and earth. Such a sense of perfect harmony caused Qin Wentian to feel moved. He knew that he wouldn't be able to do this. Between the two of us, only one can leave here alive. The young man calmly spoke. Qin Wentian frowned. Was the last Tao lecture of the Tiandao Sacred Academy a life and death tempering exercise? But who was this person? At the instant he turned, Qin Wentian could sense the aura of this person changing. In an instant, a divine glow radiated from him, piercing everyone's eyes. His physique was like that of a fiend god as the halo of light enveloped this entire space. At this instant Qin Wentian felt an unexcelled pressure. It was as though this entire space was under his control. Qin Wentian knew that he couldn't find a second 6th level immortal foundation expert who could stand shoulder to shoulder with him in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. However, this person truly caused Qin Wentian to feel an incomparably intense threat. Clearly, this person wasn't someone who belonged to Wu Xiao of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Qin Wentian's aura gushed forth as a heavy look flashed in his eyes. This was a powerful enemy. Boom! That person suddenly moved. In an instant, boundless lightning bolts descended from the sky, enveloping the area where Qin Wentian was at. That person transformed into lightning and instantly appeared before Qin Wentian. A war chariot of thunder appeared, crushing everything in its path, including Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's countenance drastically changed. At the instant his opponent acted, only then did he know that this person was far more terrifying than he had imagined. The god's hand transformed into a terrifying palm imprint and blasted out explosively. The terrifying shadow of the divine turtle enveloped him as ancient characters floated about. Boom, boom, boom. Under the might of the war chariot, everything was crushed. The palm imprint shattered, the ancient characters were destroyed, and the shadow of the divine turtle exploded. Qin Wentian was ruthlessly flung through the air, groaning in pain as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. His countenance was as pale as paper, staring in shock at the figure before him. Boundless destructive lightning radiated from the body of his opponent. It was incomparably dazzling. Thunder and lightning unceasingly descended from the sky, blasting into the surroundings of Qin Wentian. Numerous terrifying war chariots of thunder appeared, capable of crushing everything in the world. Body of laws, immortal king might. Qin Wentian stared fixedly at his opponent. He knew that regardless of which aspect he was proficient in, he was already extremely outstanding. However, with just a single strike he was injured. The enemy before him was actually even more terrifying compared to Huang Shatian. You must have learned many things in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. If not, you would have already died from that strike. Sadly, you didn't learn enough. Hence you can only die now. The expression on the other party's face was indifferent, as though he was talking about something insignificant. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a ruthless light as he directly activated the power of his bloodline, causing a terrifying aura to erupt forth from him. The eyes of his opponent flashed as an expression of interest appeared on his face. But after that, a tyrannical thunder might gushed forth from him as well. At this instant, his long hair fluttered in the wind as the sound of thunder filled the air. The entire world seemed to have transformed into a world of thunder and lightning. Bloodline power? His opponent laughed. The aura gushing forth from him was also a fearsome bloodline power. Kill! He pointed his finger forward. Instantly, thunder war chariots rumbled as they instantly appeared before Qin Wentian. Each war chariot contained a fearsome destructive might, sufficient to destroy everything. Qin Wentian was unceasingly forced back. The attacks of his opponent seemed to be boundless. Such an innate technique was already at the level of an ultimate art. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation radiated boundless blood-colored demonic light. Numerous greater demons frenziedly erupted forth, yet they were unable to destroy the war chariots. He can actually endure for so long. A look of shock flashed in the eyes of the young man. With a thunderous boom, his body vanished from sight and appeared in the airspace above Qin Wentian, riding on the 9 thunder war chariots. The front of these war chariots had the thunder god's spear, as well as a destructive darkness chi. With a thunderous boom, the war chariots descended from the sky, directly blasting into Qin Wentian's body. At this instant, no matter how powerful the attack was, it would all be destroyed. Qin Wentian roared, unleashing his strongest attack. Using his true divine-like body, he activated God's hand and unleashed a devouring demonic might that instantly engulfed the war chariot, enveloping it within. That young man frowned. After that, he directly drove the thunder chariot into the terrifying whirlpool. After that, a terrifying explosion sound rang out from within the apocalyptic whirlpool as a terrifying storm raged out. The sound of the explosion rang out as the whirlpool was destroyed. That young man appeared once more as the thunder chariot was destroyed. That young man seemed to be in a sorry state, but he wasn't injured at all. That broken academy actually managed to nurture someone like you. How rare. A look of arrogance flashed in the eyes of the young man as he coldly spoke. But you still have to die. As he spoke, the war chariots appeared once more. At this instant there were 18 of them. The immortal king might he controlled was actually even stronger compared to Huang Shatian. In addition to the augmentation from his bloodline, he could simply be said to be invincible among immortals. Qin Wentian had a look of despair on his face. He had never thought that he would encounter such a terrifying opponent. When the 18 war chariots swept past, The destruction of the heavens and earth could be felt. Qin Wentian's body was directly penetrated by the destructive might. At this instant he felt an intense reluctance in his heart. After 40 years in the Sacred Academy, his cultivation had risen so much. Would he die just like that? After he died, what would Qing'er do? What would Qingcheng do? If they encountered such a situation, would they be able to survive? After he died, what would happen to the hatred of his parents? His consciousness gradually dissipated. His soul was about to dissipate, and there were still many reluctance in his heart. At this instant, countless scenes flashed through his mind. These scenes were like a projection from when he was young in the Sky Harmony city of Chu, to when he saw Qingcheng in love. In his heart there was a deep longing for her. Why do you pursue the martial path? A voice rang out in his mind. In this life, why did he pursue the martial path? For the sake of Qingcheng, he destroyed the Pill Emperor Hall. For the sake of Qing'er, he entered the Evergreen Kingdom. And for the sake of his father, he had to go through all sorts of cruel experiences. Pursuing the martial path, for the sake of this world, couldn't obstruct his true heart. Rumble. His mind trembled violently as his consciousness returned to his body. Qin Wentian abruptly opened his eyes, only to feel that his entire body was drenched in sweat. He glanced at his surroundings, and when he saw Qing'er and Qingcheng, a deep sense of joy could be seen in his eyes. He discovered that both Qing'er and Qingcheng were looking at him, and there were even traces of tears at the corners of their eyes. At this instant, Qin Wentian suddenly understood. Most probably, in that instant earlier, they must have experienced the same thing as him. Was that real, or was it an illusion? Qin Wentian stared at the sky-connecting realm, not daring to be certain. Was that an illusion? Why did it feel so real? Even the innate techniques were so real. The strength of the other party, the strength of the other party. He felt as though he had personally experienced it. Was that real? Why was there such a powerful and terrifying wuxiu? In fact, he even referred to the Tiandao Sacred Academy as a broken academy. The holy land where wuxiu pursued the path of cultivation, the place where ancient emperors were nurtured, was actually a broken academy? In that instant earlier, I'm sure all of you should have sensed something. Why do you pursue the martial path? You all should understand what your obsession is. This is your endless motivation. Maybe it might seem inconspicuous, but in truth, the depth of your obsession would determine how far you can walk in the future. An ethereal voice drifted over. On the sky-connecting immortal rock, an ethereal shadow appeared. The entire sky-connecting realm seemed to be floating in the starry space. What sort of existence was the master of the sky-connecting realm exactly? Was the person preaching the Tao the master of the Sacred Academy? Qin Wentian deeply agreed with the words of the other party. The obsession a person had with cultivation would determine how strong their determination was. If it wasn't for him being forced by the external environment, maybe he would still be able to cultivate to his current cultivation realm, but it wouldn't be so fast. I've seen many people in my life. Some people couldn't break through the barrier of immortal foundation after living for too long, and they would give up on themselves. Some people were trapped in the immortal king realm for too long, and their heart demons would grow, causing them to lose their original self. At that time, without sufficient conviction, they might only be able to stand at the same level for their entire lives. You guys are the same as well. Not just one person, but all of you will eventually be stuck at the same cultivation realm. The voice of the other party seemed to contain a mysterious magical power. They could feel that when they were stuck at a certain cultivation realm and couldn't advance any further, that kind of struggle would surely torment them to madness, causing them to gradually lose their patience and lose their original self. Cultivation was truly too difficult. With their talent, breaking through to immortal foundation wasn't a problem. But what about immortal kings and immortal emperors? When they were stuck at the same cultivation realm for 100,000 years or 1,000,000 years, what would happen? It was simply unimaginable for those major characters in the immortal realms. What kind of mental struggle and tempering did they have to experience before they could achieve a state of tranquility? Most probably, all of them had great willpower and conviction to support them. The final lecture of the Tiandao Sacred Academy didn't involve the cultivation of the great Tao like before. Instead, it started from the topic of death, from the state of one's heart, gradually drawing the attention of the audience, causing them to sink into it. Chapter 12:13. This lesson was very long, from death to the state of heart and back to cultivation. The sky-connecting realm brought them through the astral river. Even if they closed their eyes to comprehend, they could still sense the incomparably majestic and tyrannical laws in the outside world. They felt like they were roaming through the starry space like a dream. It was unknown how much time passed. 50 years in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, a total of 50 years. When the figures opened their eyes, they no longer saw the starry space, only the immortal sea. They sat on a boat formed from immortal energy, floating on the immortal sea. A formless wind blew, bringing them to the shore of the immortal sea. Over there was the path they came from. Qin Wentian seemed to have sensed something. He opened his eyes and glanced at his surroundings with a smile on his face. Qing'er and Qingcheng were both beside him. This dream is truly long. It feels like many years have passed. Qin Wentian spoke in a low voice. Qingcheng's cultivation base was already at the 3rd level of Immortal Foundation, while he and Qing'er were already at the 7th level. In addition, his Immortal Foundation was brimming with immortal energy. That Immortal Foundation of his was even more crystalline than before, shining with a perfect luster. The immortal energy flowing through it was many times stronger compared to before. This time around it wasn't as simple as an increase in cultivation base. Staring ahead, the waves of the immortal sea slammed into the shore, emitting rumbling sounds. Numerous figures stood up and stared ahead, feeling great waves in their hearts. The 50 years in the Tiandao Sacred Academy was like a dream. During these 50 years their improvements were extremely great. This was especially so for those whose cultivation bases were lower when they entered the Sacred Academy. Their improvements were the most obvious. On the contrary, for those with higher cultivation bases, it was extremely difficult for them to take that final step. For example, for 9th level Immortal Foundation experts, if they wanted to advance, they could only comprehend the might of an immortal king. But many failed to do so. This step was simply too difficult to take. However, in the last lecture given by the Sacred Academy, there were many 9th level Immortal Foundation experts who took that final step. It was like the life and death battle in the sky-connecting realm, as well as the journey in the starry space, were all prepared for this, allowing some people to get closer to the immortal king realm. The people of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, the White Tiger people, and the other cultivators were unusually quiet at this moment. They didn't fight with each other. They walked forward indifferently towards the celestial shore. There was the exit that they came from. In the outside world in 9 Tripod City, the surroundings of the entrance to the Sacred Academy were no longer as majestic as they were in the past. After all, at that time, the Sacred Academy was recruiting students, and experts from all over the immortal realms came. But as time flowed by, regardless of whether it was the spectators or the experts from the various powers, they all left. However, there were still experts stationed here to guard the entrance, preparing to welcome the people who exited the Sacred Academy. To those at the Immortal King realm and above, even 100 years was considered a very short period of time. They would just treat it as tempering themselves in the 9 Tripod City. But even so, at the entrance of the Sacred Academy, there would still be experts coming over to check if there were any new movements. And at this moment, at the entrance of the Sacred Academy, a bright light fluctuated as a figure stepped out. This figure was incomparably lofty and had golden eyes. It was none other than Jian Nantian, exuding an incomparable aura. At the instant he appeared, numerous gazes turned over as their hearts trembled. Someone walked out from the Sacred Academy. Waves of fluctuations rang out as numerous figures walked out from the Sacred Academy. At this moment, everyone turned their gazes in this direction. From afar, there were experts who sensed the commotion here, and all of them rushed over here as well. Abruptly, an intense gust of wind swept through the air. After that, a terrifying great rock appeared in the air. He stared at Jia Nantian and the others as he smiled. "Nantian, you guys have finally come out." The surrounding space trembled violently, forming a terrifying hurricane. Numerous figures directly appeared here, staring at the young geniuses who walked out from the Sacred Academy. These people were all the elders of these geniuses and were active in the 9 Tripod City. Their immortal senses were constantly scanning the area, and they would rush over to welcome them the moment they discovered something. "Haha, children, you guys have finally come out." An explosive voice rang out in the air. An expert exuding a terrifying aura appeared. In the center of his brows, there was an imprint of a king. This was none other than a fearsome tiger king. On the other side, a human emperor figure appeared in the air, exuding an incomparably imposing aura. He had a crown on his head and exuded an aura of absolute domination. This was none other than a supreme existence of the 9 emperors' immortal state. Shatian invincible. This expert stared at Huang Shatian and Huang Wudi as a smile appeared on his face. He then continued to stare at the figures who walked out. In another direction, Nanfeng Guhong quietly stood there, smiling as she stared at the figures who walked out. The experts of the various powers have all arrived. When Qin Wentian and the others walked out, they glanced at the surroundings. Emperor Qianbian appeared there, smiling at Qin Wentian and the others. The immortal Qianbian Gate was a newly risen power. In truth, only a few of those who entered the Sacred Academy were from the immortal Qianbian Gate. The vast majority of them were sent by the Heavenly Talisman Realm to cultivate in the immortal Qianbian Gate. Right now, Bai Wuya and the other immortal kings had also entered the Sacred Academy and entered a different dimension. Hence, the person who came from the immortal Qianbian Gate was none other than the Emperor Qianbian himself. There are so many terrifying major characters. The experts from the 9 Tripod City all felt their hearts trembling when they saw the scene in the air. There were close to 20,000 geniuses from all over the immortal realms. There were simply too many major powers standing behind them. These major powers all sent their people over. Emperor Lord Qin Wentian and the others sped towards the Emperor Qianbian. Not bad. The Emperor Qianbian smiled and nodded. Qin Wentian actually broke through to the 7th level of Immortal Foundation. Such improvement in a short 50 years was truly terrifying. Where are Yudi and Dang Tian? At this moment, the major characters from the 9 Emperors' immortal state couldn't find Huang Yudi's silhouette. He had always liked to follow behind Huang Shatian. But even after so many experts walked out, there was still no sign of Huang Yudi. Roar! A low-sounding bestial roar rang out as a fearsome pressure instantly permeated the air. Over at the side of the White Tiger people, Bai Mao and the others told the major characters that those white tigers who didn't manage to walk out were all killed by the human Wu Xiao. Similarly, over at the side of the Namhuang clan, the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan took out the nirvanic blood of several holy maidens and passed it to Nanfeng Guhong. Nanfeng Guhong's eyes turned exceptionally cold as a stifling heat permeated the air, enveloping the entire space. Following that, the experts of the various powers all unleashed their terrifying auras. In an instant, everyone felt that something was wrong. If the experts of the various powers were to fight here, and if they didn't restrain themselves, the entire 9 Tripod City would be destroyed, and the people would be plunged into misery and suffering. A towering baleful aura gushed forth, gushing towards the experts of the Namhuang clan. Nanfeng Guhong took a step forward, enveloping all the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan. Her cold eyes stared at the white tiger as she coldly spoke, "A bunch of vile beasts. How dare you?" White Tiger roared in a deep voice. His roar resounded through the world, causing everyone's eardrums to tremble. That human emperor from the 9 Emperors' immortal state turned his gaze in the direction of Qing'er and Qin Wentian as he coldly spoke, "Daughter of the evergreen immortal state, are you the one who killed Yudi?" "He deserved to die," Qing'er icily replied. The eyes of that human emperor flashed with a terrifying might. "Deserved to die? Do you know who you are talking to?" That human emperor's aura gushed forth, enveloping Qing'er. The Sacred Academy has always been a tempering ground for the juniors. This is a battle between juniors. Aren't you afraid of being ridiculed by the juniors by interfering like this? A voice drifted over from the void. Instantly, the experts of the 9 Emperors' immortal state all felt a terrifying pressure descending from the heavens, enveloping everyone, including that human emperor. That human emperor inclined his head, but he had no way to sense his exact location. He naturally deserved to die. Another voice rang out. Another powerful female appeared. The people of Matriarch Ji's sect all flew over as they respectfully greeted, "Second senior sister." This female who appeared was none other than the strongest disciple under GD. She was an immortal emperor-ranked disciple, and was a famous character in the eastern regions. At the exit of the Sacred Academy, the entire space was in chaos. Who here didn't have a background? If a battle really erupted here, the juniors of both sides would surely die. If immortal emperors wanted to kill an immortal Foundation character, they only needed to move their fingers. Nobody could stop the other side from killing their juniors. Everyone fell silent. A battle between peak powers of the immortal realms was something that all experts had to be wary of, even for immortal emperors. If it's just a life and death battle, it doesn't matter. However, there's someone who dared to feast on the flesh of our white tiger people after their deaths. How can we not kill such a character? It's none other than that Qin Wentian. He gave the order we have to kill him no matter what. Bai Mao pointed in the direction of Qin Wentian. The person the white tiger people hated the most was undoubtedly Qin Wentian. Today, with so many experts here, it was impossible to deal with all of them. In that case, they could only choose a single target: Qin Wentian. That's right, this man is despicable and shameless. He was the one who acted first. If it wasn't for him, so many geniuses wouldn't have died. We have to kill him no matter what. An expert from the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom pointed at Qin Wentian. Gu Xiao of my Supreme Sword School died precisely because of him. Someone from the Supreme Sword School lied. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with coldness. The hatred these people had for him was truly deep. All of them wanted to kill him and claim his life. Entering the Tiandao Sacred Academy together with people like you is the greatest humiliation to me, Qin Wentian. You guys have brought shame to the two words geniuses. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. You failed to kill my senior brother and were killed instead. Now, you guys are slandering my senior brother for being despicable. Isn't this a fair battle? Jun Mingchen roared. Back then, when Huang Shatian was at the 9th level of Immortal Foundation, he fought to a draw with my senior brother. Do you really need to surround and kill those trash who died? The White Tiger people have always wanted to humiliate our sisters from the Nam Huang clan. Their words are simply, if our sisters landed in their hands, I wonder what these bastards would do. This is why all of our sisters spared no expense to absorb nirvanic blood, so that they wouldn't fall into their hands. These vile creatures deserve to die. The holy maiden of the Nam Huang clan spoke to Nanfeng Guhong. Chapter 12:14. Nanfeng Guhong's eyes were cold as she stared at the White Tiger people. In a radius of a few thousand miles, the temperature seemed to have risen. Second senior sister, junior sister Yunshang was killed by Huang Yudi of the 9 Emperor's immortal state. A disciple of GD coldly spoke. If it wasn't for Qin Wentian acting, most probably only a few from our Nam Huang clan would be able to leave the Tiandao Sacred Academy alive. It's the same for us as well. Emozian spoke. Back then in that battle, if Qin Wentian didn't block Huang Shatian, who would be able to survive? Numerous voices rang out. Everyone could already imagine the cruelty of the battle in the Sacred Academy. The holy maiden of the Nam Huang clan, the disciples of GD, all of them were almost buried there. The princes of the 9 Emperor's immortal state were killed. The greater demons of the White Tiger people were roasted alive. This battle must have been extremely shocking. There were also many geniuses from the myriad Devil Islands who entered the Sacred Academy. Hence, there were many powerful devil cultivators here. At this moment, a terrifying devil emperor stared at everyone and laughed. Do you people of the immortal realms really like to talk nonsense? Since there's a life and death grudge, just directly start a war and kill the other party. What's the point of a war of words? Those who were killed were all the most outstanding geniuses among your juniors. This fellow. The expressions of everyone froze. The devil cultivators of the myriad Devil Islands probably wanted nothing more than to cause chaos in the immortal realms. However, starting a war was easier said than done. Once the matter implicated the peak powers of the immortal realms, even the violent White Tiger people wouldn't dare to start an immortal war of this level. None of the major powers would dare to say that they would be able to endure the consequences. The demon emperors of the White Tiger people didn't dare to act recklessly. Since Nanfeng Guhong was enraged, she wouldn't act recklessly as well. I heard that the immortal Qinbian Gate of the Eastern regions is a power that was established less than 100 years ago. Right now they are still fighting against the Dongshengshan Gate. At the same time, the Evergreen Kingdom is facing the adjudication from the various eastern regions. The human emperor of the 9 Emperors' immortal state suddenly spoke. His gaze landed on the Emperor Qianbian. I suggest that the immortal Qianbian Gate hand him over to us. After all, external powers don't belong to you. What power could the immortal Qianbian Gate be? A power that was established less than 100 years ago. Even if they had an immortal emperor, they still dared to stand against the 9 emperors' immortal empire, protecting the people they wanted. The Evergreen Kingdom had experienced internal turmoil and was heavily injured. Their strength was limited as well. What qualifications did they have to challenge the 9 emperors' immortal state? The Namhuang clan had been rooted in the southern regions for countless years. Their roots were extremely deep and they were extremely powerful. But that was a power that belonged to the Namhuang clan. Could it be that if they wanted to touch the immortal Qianbian Gate, the Namhuang clan would start a war against the 9 emperors' immortal state? This sounded like a joke. The immortal Qianbian Gate? I've never heard of this power before. The demon emperor of the White Tiger people had a strange look in his eyes as he stared in the direction of the Emperor Qianbian. The actions of the 9 emperors' immortal state and the White Tiger people are truly disappointing. The Emperor Qianbian coldly replied, "Seems like you guys have made your choice. You would rather protect an immortal foundation character. In that case, we shall part ways here today. We shall meet again in the future." As the sound of his voice faded, a bright light radiated from him, enveloping the geniuses of the 9 emperors' immortal state. After that, his silhouette flashed as he directly departed. It was impossible for them to start a war here today. They would discuss what to do after they returned to the immortal empire. "Let's go." The demon emperor of the White Tiger people let out a low roar. After that, he led his experts away. "Eastern regions, see you again." The experts of the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom and the Supreme Sword School stared in the direction of Qin Wentian and Qing'er. Evidently, this matter was far from over. The verdict of the immortal realms had yet to be decided. Up till now, the Chongqing the Great had yet to hand over the person. Since the immortal realms adjudication was initiated, they naturally had to come up with a conclusion. "Let's return as well." Emperor Qianbian spoke to Qin Wentian and the others. Qin Wentian nodded. He turned to Qing'er. "Qing'er, what about you?" "I will follow senior sister back to master's place. This way we can use the formation to return home anytime we want." Qing'er spoke in a light voice. The commotion this time was caused by her. Her senior sister lost her life because of this. She naturally had to return to her sect and report this to her master. If her master wanted to punish her, she could accept it. "Okay." Qin Wentian smiled and nodded. GD was a peak-stage immortal emperor in the immortal realms. If Qing'er returned to her sect, Qin Wentian would naturally be at ease. "Take good care of yourself," Qin Wentian instructed. Qing'er replied in a melodious voice. "Take good care of Qingcheng." After that, she nodded lightly to Qingcheng before flying towards the direction of GD's followers. "Wentian." Namhuang Yunqi glanced in Qin Wentian's direction. She spoke with worry. "The White Tiger people are from the demonic race. Their actions are extremely tyrannical and don't abide by the rules. You have to be careful." "That's right. They most probably won't let this matter rest so easily. This grudge has already been formed between us." The holy maiden of the Namhuang clan had a cold look on her face. After she returned, she would definitely cultivate well. Holy maidens, take care." Qin Wentian clasped his hands to the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan. After that, both parties bid their farewells. "Brother Qin, if you have meat to eat in the future, remember to share it with us." In another direction, Bujia and his 2 companions were surrounded by several senior monks. Qin Wentian stared at Bujia's shameless expression and laughed. "Between brothers, we naturally have to share our joys and sorrows. If there's meat, let's meet again." "Okay, Brother Qin, remember what you said." Bujia's eyes shone brightly. White tiger meat. He hadn't had enough of it. Naturally. Qin Wentian then clasped his hands towards Buyu and Buchan. "Many thanks to the 2 reverends for taking care of me in the Sacred Academy. In the future, if there's any need, I, Qin, will definitely heed your summons." Ba. Buyu pressed his palms together and thanked Qin Wentian. Buchan nodded his head. Buddhist light shone and the senior monks from Wenqin Temple left. Experts from all directions left one after another. There were people from Zidi Dongshengshen Gate, Lightning God Hall, Snowdrift Sage Hall and Chuqingyi. Before they left, they didn't forget to look at that figure. The people from the immortal Qianbian gate soared into the air and left. In the direction of the Jiang clan, Jiang Ziyu had a smile on his face. This Qin Wentian really didn't disappoint him. His growth speed was terrifying. The experts of the Myriad Devil Islands and the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall turned her gaze towards the direction where the immortal Qianbian gate left. Her beautiful eyes flashed with a hint of reluctance. "Let's go," a demon emperor with a terrifying aura said. And they all left one after another. A storm arose and dissipated. But this was also within expectations. With so many immortal emperors around, it was impossible for such a huge battle to erupt. The implications were too great, and if they didn't control it well, it might cause a huge commotion. As for those immortal kings who haven't come out yet, they naturally didn't need reinforcements. They were already powerful existences, and after they left the Sacred Academy, they would surely grow even stronger. In the immortal Qianbian gate, Qin Wentian stared at the familiar palaces as a smile flashed in his eyes. He would be able to reunite with his old friends again. Although a storm might erupt at any moment, at the very least, he would be able to enjoy some peace and quiet. The path of cultivation was arduous and time was incomparably precious. However, cultivating in the Sacred Academy for 50 years had caused his state of mind to be extremely tense. He also needed some time to relax. "Emperor Lord, I will return to take a look first." Qin Wentian clasped his hands as he spoke. "Okay, you should rest well for a period of time. If there's any news outside, I will naturally inform you." The Emperor of Qianbian spoke. "Many thanks, Emperor Lord." Qin Wentian brought Mo Qingqing and the others back to their palaces. Time flowed by. It has already been 50 years since they started cultivating in the Sacred Academy. He didn't know if everyone was doing well or not. Just when Qin Wentian was about to pay his respects to his foster father and the others, he saw that there were already people coming over, knowing that he and Qingqing had returned. "Master!" A smile appeared on Mo Qingqing's face when she saw the medicine sovereign. "Senior medicine sovereign." Qin Wentian bowed. "I was still worried that Qingqing would encounter some trouble on her way to look for you. Seeing that she has returned safely, I can finally set my heart at ease." The medicine sovereign smiled. "Wentian, the time you spent outside this time was really long." Yi Qingyun's silhouette appeared. During this period of time, Yi Qingyun had been in closed-door seclusion, trying to break through to Immortal Foundation. Foster father, Sis Lingshuang. Qin Wentian was naturally happy in his heart when he saw his foster father and Yi Lingshuang. Haha! A carefree laughter rang out. His father Qin Chuan, Sis Qin Yao and the others also came over. His teacher Mustang and senior sister Luo Huan were also there. "You seem to have become more handsome." Luo Huan walked to the side of Qin Wentian, her body almost sticking to Qin Wentian. Her fingers hooked onto Qin Wentian's chin, causing Qin Wentian to not know whether to laugh or cry. "Senior sister, please spare me. Tell me, what is your current cultivation base?" A strange light flashed in Luo Huan's eyes. "In the Immortal Foundation realm, I should be considered one of the more powerful ones." Qin Wentian joked. When he was together with his family, he was completely different from the outside world. He was very relaxed. "More powerful?" Luo Huan mumbled. Several figures from the Battle Sword sect flew over, causing Qin Wentian to be taken aback. The people of the Battle Sword sect didn't want to rely on him too much, hence many of them were out tempering themselves. Duan Han, Ji Feishue, Lu Bingyu and the others all appeared in the crowd. In addition, their cultivation bases were already very high, incomparable to the past. It was just that they were all stuck at the Celestial Phenomenon realm, unable to step into the Immortal Foundation realm. Qin Wentian was prepared to baptize everyone this time around. "Wentian, you came back at the right time. Senior brother Lin Shuai is about to get married." Duan Han walked over and smiled at Qin Wentian. "Senior brother Lin Shuai is about to get married?" A look of joy flashed in Qin Wentian's eyes. Many years ago when he first stepped into the Royal Sacred Region, it was senior brother Lin Shuai who brought him to the Battle Sword sect and took care of him. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, so many years had passed? Senior brother Lin Shuai had also found the person he loved. He naturally felt happy for his senior brother. Which maiden is so lucky to be able to marry someone as outstanding as senior brother Lin Shuai? Qin Wentian smiled. Senior brother Lin Shui got acquainted with her when he was tempering himself outside. She lives in the Cloud Prefecture and is a very good maiden. Yiling Shuang was also very happy. Senior brother Lin Shui was like an elder brother to her. Where is senior brother? Qin Wentian asked. Why isn't he around? He's at the maiden's place. He's busy preparing for the wedding. The Cloud Prefecture is so vast, it's not easy for him to make a trip back. We came back to make preparations, but we didn't expect to meet you here. Everyone laughed. Qin Wentian scratched his head. That's right, how vast was the Cloud Prefecture? Even for Immortal Foundation experts, it was considered extremely vast. There were many people who wouldn't even be able to walk out of the city even if they spent their entire lives. It was just that Qin Wentian was used to seeing experts and had traveled to many places in the immortal realms. Hence, he didn't realize how significant the Cloud Prefecture was to Wuxiu, who was below the Immortal Foundation realm. Chapter 12:15. In the Namhuang clan, Nanfeng Guhong brought the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan back to this ancient clan that had existed for countless years. Within a majestic ancient hall, many experts were gathered there. These were the elders of the holy maidens, as well as some elders of the Southern Phoenix clan. At this moment, a beam of phoenix light could be seen floating above the ancient hall, forming the shadow of a few phoenixes. However, within the shadow, there were a few drops of nirvanic blood. Other than this, the holy maiden of the Namhuang clan, whose cultivation base was crippled, was also present. This time around, the Namhuang clan's losses were extremely great. This time around, everything started because of Yunxi. Because of Qin Wentian, the situation worsened, leading to this war. Regardless of the 9 emperors' immortal state or the White Tiger people, both sides suffered losses. But this was merely a battle between the juniors of the Sacred Academy. Do you all have any objections? Nanfeng Guhong asked. She was an immortal emperor expert, and was also the Tao protector of the Southern Phoenix matriarch. Her status in the Namhuang clan was extremely high. If it was a battle, it's fine. But the White Tiger people are too evil. You can only blame yourselves for not having a high enough cultivation base. If not, you can roast all the White Tiger people in the Sacred Academy and eat them. That can be considered as revenge. An elder coldly spoke, causing the experts of the Namhuang clan to lower their heads. That's right. After all, this was a battle between juniors of the Sacred Academy. We suffered losses, but they also ate the meat of the White Tigers. Both sides have no reason to start a war, and will only stop here. Another person spoke. It wasn't good for the Namhuang clan to do anything to the Namhuang clan, but they also believed that the White Tiger people wouldn't dare to do anything to the Namhuang clan. The person who spoke earlier nodded lightly. In the future, when you all roam the immortal realms, just kill a few more White Tigers. There's no need to be polite. It's just a pity for these lasses. I wonder if they can recover from their injuries. Elders, Yunxi has a matter to report. Nanfeng Yunxi bowed slightly as she spoke to everyone. Yunxi, speak. Nanfeng Guhong glanced at her. I got acquainted with Qin Wentian in the City of Ancient Emperors. Back then, during the tempering exercise in the City of Ancient Emperors, Qin Wentian obtained a secret art to cultivate his immortal foundation. Wait. Before Namhuang Yunxi could finish speaking, Nanfeng Guhong interrupted her. She turned her gaze onto everyone as a heavy look could be seen in her eyes. Everyone here is the most direct descendant of my Namhuang clan. What Yunxi has said, no one is allowed to leak out. Yes. Everyone nodded. They could also faintly sense the meaning behind Namhuang Yunxi's words. Immortal Foundation. No wonder Qin Wentian, Jun Mengchen, Namhuang Yunxi and the rest all had perfect immortal foundations. In truth, many people had their own guesses. Now that Namhuang Yunxi took the initiative to speak, they naturally understood. This secret art was obtained by Qin Wentian. Although Yunxi has cultivated it, without Qin Wentian's permission, it's not appropriate for Yunxi to impart it to the rest of the clan. Namhuang Yunxi continued. Many people frowned, feeling somewhat unhappy. Such a precious secret art, since Namhuang Yunxi obtained it, she should be the first to hand it over. This was simply too unreasonable. This time around in the Sacred Academy, Qin Wentian fought side by side with my Namhuang clan. He told Yunqi that I can hand over the secret art. Nam Huang Yunqi spoke. Yunqi, well done. The experts here all had smiles on their faces. With such a secret art in the future, the younger generations of the Nam Huang clan would surely grow stronger. In the future there would be a golden age. They were all extremely powerful cultivators. They naturally understood how precious this secret art was. It's just that Yunqi has a request. Nam Huang Yunqi bowed. What's the matter? This secret art was obtained by Qin Wentian. Back then, because I fought side by side with him, he unconditionally allowed me to cultivate it. Yunqi has already been indebted to him. After that, Qin Wentian assisted Yunqi in seizing the position of the holy successor, allowing her to meet with the Phoenix ancestor, establishing a perfect immortal foundation. If not, Yunqi wouldn't have the status she has today. In addition, this secret art can even allow her to establish a saint-grade immortal foundation. Although Qin Wentian didn't make any requests, my Nam Huang clan is filled with gratitude. Just like what the elders have said, the 9 emperors' immortal state and the White Tiger people won't declare war against my Nam Huang clan. However, they might act against the immortal Qianbian Gate and Qin Wentian. I hope that the Nam Huang clan can stand firmly by Qin Wentian's side and protect him. Yunqi. An elder stared at Nam Huang Yunqi. You are the holy successor of our Nam Huang clan. In the future, you have a chance to inherit the position of the Southern Matriarch. Whatever you do, you have to prioritize the benefits of the Nam Huang clan. Relationships between men and women should be placed aside. Yunqi will listen to your teachings. Nam Huang Yunqi bowed and nodded. Although she was the holy successor and had a high status, this matter might implicate an emperor-level battle. Clearly, it wasn't beneficial for the Nam Huang clan to have a battle of this level for the sake of an immortal foundation junior. Yunqi's words are also for the sake of the Nam Huang clan. In the Sacred Academy, Qin Wentian's improvement can be said to be the greatest. He could even fight against a peak-level immortal foundation expert, Huang Shatian. If an ancient emperor is to emerge from the Sacred Academy, wouldn't it be him? If our Nam Huang clan had helped an ancient emperor when he was young, maybe in the future, our Nam Huang clan would be able to stand tall for all eternity. Qin Wentian is willing to take out such a precious secret art. The Nam Huang clan should be filled with gratitude. However, just like what you said, he has the potential to become an ancient emperor. Do you know that if an ancient emperor wanted to stand at the peak of the immortal realms, how many enemies would he have to face in the future? Our Nam Huang clan should help him, but we have to control our strength. If not, our Nam Huang clan might not be able to wait until he stands at the peak before we are destroyed. Namfeng Guhong spoke. Everyone nodded. The rise of an ancient emperor was built on the bones of 10,000 people. In the future, it was unknown how many terrifying enemies there would be. In addition, no matter how good one's talent was, the hope of standing at the peak was incomparably minuscule. The immortal realms weren't as peaceful as it appeared on the surface. Namfeng Guhong didn't mind helping Qin Wentian. She had indeed helped him before. But if it really might affect the fate of the Nam Huang clan, she would immediately let go. Yunqi understands. I will naturally hand over the secret art. It's just that I hope that seniors will remember that this secret art can only be cultivated by those with extremely powerful physiques, or they wouldn't be able to endure it. Nam Huang Yunqi nodded. Also, Qin Wentian wants Yunqi to pass a message to all of you. Experts of the immortal realms, I have a deep connection with the Nam Huang clan. I hope that we can maintain our friendship. This time I'm offering the secret art to all of you, hoping that it would be of use to all of you who are injured. In the future, I, Qin, will give all of you a huge gift. As the sound of his voice faded, the entire place fell silent. Namfeng Guhong's eyes gleamed with sharpness. After that, a radiant smile appeared on her face as she stared at Nam Huang Yunqi. This friend of yours is getting smarter and smarter. Nam Huang Yunqi was speechless. Back then in the Sacred Academy, she had a conversation with Qin Wentian. In truth, the situation today was something that Qin Wentian had already guessed. She initially thought that the two of them were already allies. But in reality, why would an ancient and powerful peak power form an alliance with an immortal foundation character? Their relationship as allies was simply too unequal. Qin Wentian would definitely hand over the secret art. In truth, A treasure like the immortal slaying platform was sufficient to exchange for the friendship of a supreme power. However, a friendship without benefits would be extremely fragile. There was no need to mention the relationship between Qin Wentian and Nam Huang Yunxi. He had also established a good relationship with the holy maidens of the Nam Huang clan in the Sacred Academy. However, the ones in power were those lofty emperors of the Nam Huang clan. How would they care about the friendship between juniors? During these days, Qin Wentian was busy helping his kin improve their physiques and imparting immortal arts that were suitable for them. He didn't personally experience what happened in the Nam Huang clan's ancient hall, but he could guess some things. Originally, he didn't intend to let Nam Huang Yunxi pass on the last sentence. At that time, he only told Nam Huang Yunxi to pass on the secret art to the Nam Huang clan. Nam Huang Yunxi was very grateful and told him that even if he left the Sacred Academy, the Nam Huang clan would definitely protect him. At that time, he smiled carelessly and chatted with Nam Huang Yunxi about many things, including that even if he left the Sacred Academy, the Nam Huang clan would be fine, but at least the various powers in the Eastern Immortal region would not let him and Qing go. The White Tiger people might also interfere. They had all talked about this before. Nam Huang Yunxi had always firmly believed that if this was the case, the Nam Huang clan would definitely act. This was why Qin Wentian smiled and told her that if the truth was different from what she thought, she should pass on the last sentence. When she said this, Nam Huang Yunxi was still somewhat unhappy. But in the end, Nam Huang Yunxi discovered that Qin Wentian was right. Her view of this world changed again. Maybe this was growth. At this moment in the airspace above the Cloud Prefecture, a group of experts soared through the air. Little Rascal transformed into a gigantic rock. His speed was many times faster compared to ordinary immortal weapons. Why is senior brother Lin Shuai's wedding location set at the bride's residence? Qin Wentian sat on Little Rascal's back. Beside him were Mo Qingcheng, Yi Lingshuang and Qin Yao. All of them were preparing to go over to support their senior brother Lin Shuai. Little E is the golden daughter of the Cheng clan. The Cheng clan naturally can't be compared to the immortal Qianbian Gate, but they can still be considered a prominent clan in the Cloud Prefecture. There are many immortal foundation experts in their clan, and it's said that there was even an immortal king among them. But our battle sword sect, senior brother Lin Shuai can't possibly use the tiger skin and use the immortal Qianbian Gate as his wedding location. Right? This isn't your wedding, and we can't even be considered disciples of the immortal Qianbian Gate. Hence, senior brother Lin Shuai didn't mention this to the Cheng clan. Lingshuang, there's no need to give face to my battle sword sect. Wentian, what she said is right. A power like our battle sword sect would really have wronged Lin Shuai. The old ancestor of the battle sword sect shook his head. Qin Wentian had a bitter smile on his face. In truth, as long as senior brother Lin Shuai said the word, he would naturally help to handle this matter. But he also understood that senior brother Lin Shuai had his own pride and self-esteem. He couldn't possibly tell the Cheng clan that his junior brother was a heaven chosen of the immortal Qianbian Gate. What would that count as? His junior brother was only his junior brother. The immortal Qianbian Gate wasn't his sect, and his parents and elders weren't part of it. Only if they are strong enough would it work. Qin Wentian sighed. He was very carefree in the immortal Qianbian Gate, but in truth, these relatives of his didn't have much of a sense of belonging. And it was precisely because of this reason that even Lin Shuai's wedding was held at the bride's residence. Although senior brother Lin Shuai was magnanimous and wouldn't mind, he was afraid that the people of the Cheng clan would look down on him because of this.